Now, before we start this week's Let's Do This, I want to come in and make some corrections. We never hide the fact that we screw up sometimes, and when we do that, we like to listen to the show and come back and tell you where we went wrong. Now, I actually caught myself in something right here, and I feel really bad because I'm a big Charles Schulz fan. Charles Schulz being the guy that created Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, all those characters. And we started talking about a movie. Now, the movie that we mentioned was, I believe it was A Boy Named Charlie Brown. And in it, we talk about how Snoopy is going from place to place to meet up with Charlie Brown. And whenever he goes into certain areas, they kick him out and then they say, "No dogs allowed." Now, right when we were done recording, I thought to myself, well, hey, wait a minute. That's not from A Boy Named Charlie Brown. That's actually from Snoopy Come Home. Just wanted to come in, set that straight. No disrespect to my man, the late Charles Schulz. So with that said, here's our show.
Good evening, co-host.
Good evening, Corey.
That's my Halloween voice.
And that was my Jim Henson voice or
Jim
something.
Henson, that was Marvin the
Marvin,
Martian.
that was Marvin.
Hello, Corey. Do you have the capitulator?
Whatever it was he was looking for. The
P15 capitulator.
Whatever he was trying to get. I was trying to get my Dracula voice going on. Good evening, co-host.
Gotta go blah, blah.
Good evening, co-host. Blah. I thought for this show, Halloween's coming up.
Halloween's right around the corner.
That's right. Now, you had a suggestion of maybe talking about some Halloween things. So.
Yeah, just some, some cool movies that we probably would recommend for you to play in the background of your big Halloween bag.
That's right. So, this is Let's Do This, of course, our show. We on this show, we kind of just bullshit around. And
we are completely bullshitting around.
100 fun.
And we run around and bullshit some more.
Exactly. In fact, we have shit coming up our ass like bulls while we're walking.
Yeah, all right, Corey.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, on this show, though, what you get is, as I said, co-host and I just sit here, just kind of shooting the breeze.
That's right, shooting the breeze.
But more importantly, we get to your emails at some point because this show is about you.
Yeah, it's about you. And you over there, dummy.
And you too. And you. Yeah, so we like to start out just by talking about what's been going on.
Yeah.
What's been happening, maybe some things that we like to share with you.
Right.
And then after we're done with that, then that's when we'll concentrate on reading your emails out there. Mm-hmm. So let's see. We got off on a good start here, so I guess we can go ahead and start talking about some of the Halloween suggestions that we have. So
let's do some talking, Corey. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
All right, then. If you're ready, I'm ready. Then let's do this! Yeah, it's getting longer every week.
Yeah, it is.
I think we have made talking about nothing more exciting than everything.
I guess so. Hey, we do it well, I guess. I love talking about nothing.
We have introduced the art of talking about bullshit like it's really that important. Let's do
exactly.
Like we're about to storm a village or something.
You thought Seinfeld did it right the first time. Watch it.
Yeah, you thought he was talking bullshit. You ain't heard nothing. You heard us talk about bullshit. So, some Halloween-related things that we want to get into here, man.
That's right.
Now, when you mentioned, I don't know if we're on the same page here. No.
Okay, let's get on the same page.
Okay, because I want us to be like-minded here.
Okay, I'll try.
Even that's a scary thing, being like
it's a terrifying thing. I don't want to be anywhere near your mind, your filthy, polluted mind.
Now, I'm thinking when you said let's talk about movies that we can show at a Halloween party.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to show some gross things in the background and whatnot.
Right.
I myself, you could do something different. I want to talk about some really fun movies.
Go for
Halloween. Everybody talks about the scary things, the gory things.
Yeah. And we pretty much did that on Leog. Which you'll hear soon.
Yeah, coming up later this week. But yeah, we were guests on that. But I was just thinking about some movies. And even some television shows that I thought would be cool, especially if kids are having a Halloween party.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say you're having a party where, it's a lot of adults, but somebody might be bringing a kid in. You want to see some guy with a hockey mask and a blade hacking somebody up.
You don't want to see some severed head eating out some chick on, on a slab, yeah.
Oh, like what, from Reanimator?
Reanimator, yeah.
Man, when I first saw Reanimator, that is one of the first time I saw Reanimator, I had to see it again because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I cut on and people, Reanimator is a movie. It's based on an H.P. Lovecraft story, but the movie was set place in present times with Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs, yes.
Yeah, I don't know who directed that movie.
Dr. Herbert West. Stuart Gordon directed it.
Oh, yes. Stuart Gordon.
Yes.
What has he done before?
Stuart Gordon, he basically, what did he do? He did Beyond From Beyond.
Oh, From
after,
Beyond,
yeah, he
yeah.
did From Beyond. He did a lot of films in that, but the first film I was aware of him was obviously Reanimator.
Man, I turned that
yeah,
movie on.
he's really into H.P. Lovecraft, and so he's done a
because
few.
From Beyond is a H.P. Lovecraft, book.
And he also did a movie called Dragon. I hope I'm saying that right.
Dragon.
Yeah, or Dracon. Yeah, it's another Lovecraft story. I'm not very familiar with it, but he made a film out of it. It was all right. It was pretty good.
Okay,
but it's no Reanimator.
Well, when I first turned on
that's his best one.
Reanimator is about a guy who comes up with a formula to bring the dead back to life.
Right.
And the dead end up going crazy. I mean, in fact, throughout the whole movie, there's an evil doctor who he's beheaded.
Dr. Hill.
But
yes.
he's brought back to life, and he holds his head through the whole movie, and the head is like bleeding guts at the bottom and everything. But he's still.
And he talks like this.
And,
gory. I love that.
And man, he's still horny. He ain't got no head.
Oh yeah,
but that don't mean he ain't got a penis.
Okay, now when I saw that, yeah, obviously there are a lot of just great scenes in that movie, but the one that stuck out the most is obviously when he basically ties down a girl. It looks like an embalming table, and he straps her down and he rips off her clothes, and his body that's walking around holding his head, his own head, is basically putting his head down on the girl's vagina, and the girl is screaming her head off, no, and you see his head get pulled up, and he looks at her and he yells, "Yes, more passion!" I start laughing my ass off.
You sort of just you giddy about this. You talking about you don't want to be near my sick mind. Look at you.
Oh my God,
you were happy about
that is a
this.
work of genius. I love that film.
But man, when I first saw it, I turned on the TV, and it was all foggy and everything, and all I saw was somebody being torn apart. And it scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, that's towards the end. That's like that is one of the really cool scenes in that film where one of the zombies starts to remember who he is and starts to try to save his daughter who's getting attacked by a bunch of zombies, and those zombies end up attacking him, and you just see like his silhouette where he's moving around and he gets torn limb from limb.
Yeah.
His head gets ripped off, but it's all in silhouette, so it looks really creepy.
Yeah, when I first turned on at that scene, I said, "What the hell is this?" And then I see it again. I'm like, "Oh shit, it gets crazy." You got a guy who's trying to have oral sex with a severed head on a leg. I'm like, "Gee, this movie's out of his fucking mind."
And then towards the end, he injects that body with that serum, like the
green
body,
serum,
the reagent, and the body starts to overdose, and then all the intestines start popping out and start attacking the doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was insane.
Then they had a sequel, Bride of Reanimator.
They
right?
did
I
have
didn't see that
Bride of
movie.
Reanimator. Oh, I did. It was good. It was a little bit more campy than I would like, but it's a fun movie. I mean, the cool thing is that the guy who played Dr. Hill, he's in it, and he has bat wings attached to his head so he can fly, which is insane. But the actor that plays that guy, I think he died like right after those films. But
And,
he's great. I wish I can remember the guy's name, but I mean, I think that he's probably one of those like Shakespearean actors that just get locked into a movie like that, and that's all they're ever known for. They could have like a huge body of work, but it just doesn't matter.
Oh, and that's the movie we like you to show your kids at a party, by the way.
Exactly.
No, that's not the one. But what were you looking for?
I'm not looking for anything, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, one movie that I really love, that I love to show for Halloween, and it's a movie that you can show adults and kids. It's really, it's pretty much a kids movie, but adults love it. And and it came out in 1967, so it's a classic, and it's Mad Monster Party.
Oh yeah, you love talking about that movie around Halloween, Corey.
I do, man.
Yeah,
I do. I love that movie.
You know, it's funny. I've seen bits and parts of it, but I just can't help but laugh when I see those little animated dudes running around like a little wolf man.
Yeah,
and it's obviously it's done by the same team that did all the.
It's Rankin Bass that did it, and all the little. It's a party where you have classic monsters such as the werewolf and the Invisible Man, Dracula, Dr. Frankenstein.
Everyone's there.
Is over there. It, which is it, who is actually a ripoff of King Kong.
Right.
The Blob. Phyllis Diller plays a role in there. She's some crazy witch or something. And it's a fun movie, man. And what's so cool about it is that it's done by it was written by Harvey Kurtzman. And that's the guy who came up with Mad Magazine.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay.
and then the artist who did all of the the creature designs on it is a guy named Jim Davis, who actually that might be the guy from Garfield.
Oh no.
Maybe I should look this up.
Look it up, Corey, please.
Because
We get enough emails like you guys never know what the hell you're talking about.
No, I'm sorry. It's Jack Davis. I was a Jim Davis.
There
The guy
you
that
go.
did Garfield. Yeah, all the creatures like Garfield. Shit, Garfield's scarier than that shit.
I am not a Garfield fan, so I would
But-
not know.
No, Jack Davis, who was a big artist for Mad Magazine. As a matter of fact, on the DVD, you can go through and look at all of the designs, some of the designs for the characters.
Yeah, and I love those. The designs always stick out. I mean, I can't remember anything about that damn movie, but I love the way those characters look.
It's the way it ends is it ends with them blowing like almost everybody up.
Yeah.
And it has sort of a Twilight Zone ending to it. So for a kids movie, I was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of bold for them to do that.
Pretty smart for a kids movie back then.
Yeah, no, they and the movie is just it really is silly. I mean, they do a lot of scenes in there that they're just trying to pad it out for a movie.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in there that's really coherent, but
Yeah.
the fact that it just has this kitsch factor to it that is fun to look at the little animated characters.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, the scene, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where he's making the potion. And Dr. Jekyll eventually turns into Dr. Hyde, where he just looks insane. I mean, his eyes are rolling around all over his face, and he's looking drunk. I mean, he looks like the Snow Beast from Rudolph.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the same. Well, it's the same group. Yeah. I mean,
It is. Shit, for all we know, he could have took that Snow Beast head and just said, shit. We need to save some time. Take that head off that Snow Beast and put it on Dr. Jekyll. But no, it's silly. It's just silly stuff in there, man, and it's padded out by a lot of things. They have there was a band called the Zombies.
That's right, the Zombies.
And that was I think that was a real band. I know there was a band called the Zombies back then, and I think they actually got that band to come and do music for it. And the band is actually a bunch of skeletons,
Yeah.
zombies, and it's so much nonsense happening in the movie that you could put it on in the background, and it'll just be fun to watch. If you're a huge fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, this is the precursor to that.
Oh yeah, you can see the big influence in that movie by watching Monster
Mad
Monster Mash.
And as a matter of fact, I remember this. They came out with a sequel to it. I
They
don't
did?
know if it was, okay.
Really?
Now look, I don't know if it was a sequel, but it almost had the same name. It's called Mad. I don't know how many Mads they had in it.
Yeah.
Mad Monsters. Maybe it was 3 or 4 or 5. Mad Monsters.
The Madhouse.
But it wasn't done in sort of the stop motion animation. It was done traditional flat 2D animation.
Oh really?
And so that didn't
sucks.
catch on too well. So
Yeah.
people just said, "Fuck this! I don't want to.
Yeah,
I
who
don't want to see
cares?
this." So a lot of people remember Mad Monster Party, but that I guess it was a sequel. Is
Nobody gives a
remembers
shit
it.
about
Yeah,
it.
I've tried to actually find it,
Uh-huh.
and I can't find it anywhere. So it obviously went into obscurity or something.
Yeah.
So I would suggest heavily anybody who is a big fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, or if you're having a fun Halloween party, or if you're having a Halloween party for your kids, kids will love this movie, man. So I highly recommend that.
All right. Well, there you go. There's Corey's
That's
picks.
me.
And mine, I would go with Creepshow. And I know it's like, yeah, there's plenty of gore in that film, but honestly, as far as a party movie, that is one hell of a movie to get drunk to and watch with your friends. I mean, obviously, Creepshow is directed by George Romero, and it was a collaboration between him and Stephen King. Yeah, and honestly, it's they're paying homage to the EC Comics, the Tales from the Crypt series, and I tell you what, the visual style of that film it still blows me away. I mean,
Creepshow's a classic, man.
It is a straight
That's one
classic.
of my favorite movies. Not even
It
like
is.
this Halloween movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, I mean, and they're just there's the stories. I guess we can go through. I wish. Let me pull up the titles.
Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day. There was Father's Day.
The Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill.
Yes, Jordy Verrill, which Stephen King.
The Crate.
The Crate.
High Tide, I think.
yeah.
I don't know if something that tied you over.
Something that tied you over. There you go. And the last one.
I forgot
with the roaches.
That's because I want to say the roaches.
Yeah, the roaches. That's all I want to say. Golly, but I'll look it up here real quick.
But yeah, and Father's Day. I'll just go through while you're thinking about that. Father's Day was about a guy who wants his birthday cake. I mean, his Father's Day cake, and
Yeah.
he's so bad that he comes back from the dead to get it.
Yeah.
He was murdered on Father's Day.
Yeah,
He's coming back for his cake.
Yeah, he was murdered because apparently he shot his son-in-law.
Yeah. So-
and his daughter was so upset that she ended up just on Father's Day. He's sitting in that huge dining room.
But
yeah, okay, he's beating his cane on the chair, screaming, "You bitch! You bitch!"
I know, he's like asking for a cake and cussing her out.
Yeah, he is cursing her out like a motherfucker.
He had what was coming to him, man.
Bedelia!
And he comes back with that voice. Where's my cake?
Yeah, and it's probably one of the coolest looking zombies you'll
Oh,
ever
it was
see.
great. It was
Yeah.
scary, man. The Lonesome Depth of Jordy Verrill actually has Stephen King acting through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a sort of a down and out farmer who lives out in the middle of nowhere. A meteor comes down, starts spreading grass everywhere. And because he touched the meteor,
Yeah.
grass starts spreading onto him too. And he just pretty much, I want to give away the end of it, but I mean, it's pretty much, he can't stop it. And it's actually pretty funny. And
No,
Stephen
it's
King
hilarious.
was-
Stephen
was
King.
great,
That's his best role, I think, ever. I mean, and the funny thing is, like, he starts seeing his dad. He starts seeing his dad like from the grave, telling him, "Oh, you messed up again, Jordy." He's constantly insulting.
You can't do anything right, Jordy.
Yeah, you jump in that water, you might as well be signing your death warrant.
Yeah, because he wants to, because the weeds on him make him want to jump in the water so bad.
Yeah, and he's itching and he's trying to get drunk just to get his mind off it.
And it's a tragic story, but it's really funny. And it's amazing to see Stephen King, who's one of our greatest writers today, actually have a sense of humor and actually act well. I mean, he acted pretty
Oh
well
yeah,
in that
no,
part.
he was great. Like I said, I think that's by far his greatest
And
performance.
he wrote all these stories, by the way.
Yes.
The Crate is just a weird one. It's about a creature that survives in a crate for years.
That one fucked me up. Watching that one, it really fucked me up because it's supposedly a Tasmanian devil that you find out that's in this crate. I mean, that's not going to spoil anything. It's just what really sticks out.
But
is
it's like
it's
a mutated.
It's a mutated.
It's like a gorilla
Tasmanian,
and a Tasmanian devil.
And the thing is, like, this
could
thing
survive.
tears you. It tears people apart, literally. And there's times when you see it, and it is really disturbing. Like the camera angles, the way they do a lot of the killing sometimes is just like a comic book panel. Back in those days, to really like emphasize a kill,
And the backgrounds
you
get
see
all
the
crazy.
background turns red. Yeah, you get a close up of the face, the person screaming, and it just goes into chaos. The music, which is incredible in that film, just really heightens up those scenes. And you're watching a living horror comic, come to life, and that movie just pixelates that like crazy.
Yeah, no, it was just.
Did
weird
I say that
because-
right? It pixelates.
I just figured that was a word I didn't know.
That's my computer lingo. Pixelate. I'm like, is that okay?
Oh, you didn't just say pixelate. You said
Impixelate.
impixelate.
That's probably not a word.
That sounds like death by pixelation.
Impic-
Impixelate,
yeah.
like embed somebody. I'm gonna impixelate you.
I'm trying to be smart. I'm a robot. Damn
I'm
it.
smart. For an average person, you're very smart. For a robot, you're extremely dumb.
No, I am extremely. I'm too busy looking at dumb shit on the internet.
It's like, you have computers that can store vast amounts of information.
Yeah.
You store vast amounts of useless information.
Well, thank you for.
I mean, just like me.
Thank you for the Windows 95, Corey.
I didn't build you.
The greatest present ever.
And then you had something to tide you over. Which
Something
is
to
funny.
tide you over.
It's another
Yes.
zombie one
With
where
Leslie Nielsen
Leslie
as the
Nielsen
bad
is-
guy.
Yeah, coming. And that had what's his name from Cheers? Ted
Danson.
Danson.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and Ted and he ends up getting like it's such a weird thing.
It starts off weird because you're trying to figure out what exactly is going on.
Well, it's weird because of the setup. They buried Ted Danson up to his head in sand. He can't move.
Right.
And apparently he was cheating around with Leslie Nielsen's wife.
Right.
So he sets up Leslie
Leslie
Nielsen
Nielsen
sets up
sets up-
TVs
yeah.
on the beach so they can see each
Yeah.
other.
And this is when, like, I guess this is around when cable started. It was making its way into homes.
when video
And-
started
yeah,
making its
video,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
video, and Leslie Nielsen gives a whole rant about cable and video and how incredible it is, and all the channels you can get on TV with cable.
That's back when you got
and
like
video,
like 20 channels.
Yeah,
and that was something.
Exactly, and he goes on. His rants are incredible in that little short.
And of course, Ted Danson
of course,
and
yeah.
his wife come back from the dead to
Right.
to inflict irony
Exactly,
That's-
which is the typical EC,
yeah.
Tales from the Crypt storyline.
yeah, and
Re-
finally,
zombie revenge.
I can't remember the name
roaches?
the roaches, but needless to say, it's a guy, Hal Holbrook. He was in The Crate. He was the guy in the Crate. I can't remember the guy who was in the last one, but of course he's being plagued by roaches in his apartment.
Oh, here we go. The Lonesome Death
Of Jordy Vera.
that's Jordy Vera.
That's I was like, I said that.
Here, where is it?
But
They're creeping up on you.
I knew
That's
creep
what
was
it
in there
called. Yeah,
somewhere.
they're creeping up on you. There you go.
but yeah, he's plagued by roaches in the apartment.
E.G. Marshall.
E.G. Marshall is
E.G.
the guy.
Marshall.
Yeah, the old guy in
And
his
he
apartment.
is awesome in that movie. You fucking hate that guy. I mean, you really hate that guy in that
Because
movie.
it's weird too, because you can't tell if it's the future, because he's in he's in an apartment. It's all
Right.
white,
Yeah.
and the whole thing is
It looks very sterile. I
That's
mean,
exactly it.
It's completely sterile. He has his bathroom is like almost like an air sealed room. And yeah,
He's a germaphobe.
Yeah,
He
he's a
hates-
germaphobe. Yeah, and
And an asshole.
He has. I always thought it was the future because of that little vacuum trash compactor
Yeah,
that he had.
yeah, that's what
that
I
he was
thought.
constantly using, especially when he killed that one roach with it. That roach that was hanging off on the side, and he pushes that button, and he's like, and you see that poor roach like trying to
I
struggle.
feel bad for that roach, because that's why I rooted for the roach, because that roach was like, no,
Oh
help
yeah.
me.
I know some people that cannot watch that part of the movie at
That roach
all.
was like, avenge me, brother, help me.
Oh, and the worst is when he's using that Cuisinart or whatever while he's putting cereal in there, and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
mashes it up, and he's like talking to he's bitching out some lady whose husband just died, and he's bitching her out, and as he's eating this, he realizes there's something funny in there, and he looks through the cereal, and then all of a sudden
All these roaches start coming out.
out of that cereal
Well,
box.
you can kind of predict what happens.
Oh,
Near
yeah.
the end of it, the roaches just become more and more numerous, where they just they pretty much just gang up on his ass. at
Oh,
the end. yeah. I won't ruin it because the payoff is insane.
Yes.
But but that movie, like I said, I wouldn't play it at a kids' party. But if you want a good
Oh, no.
Halloween movie,
Yeah.
man, that is one of the perfect ones.
It
to watch.
is. It is. I saw this at a outdoor screening. George Romero was there, and I tell you what, and this was like a couple of years ago. But that audience that we were all everyone was hanging out. That audience just like blew up. I mean, we're laughing, screaming. I mean, it was just like the ultimate party there with a bunch of strangers, and it was amazing to see how this film still holds up. And I was happy to see that, because I mean, I can watch it right now, and it would be like watching it for the first time every time I see it.
No, it is the best adaptation so far that they've had anything close to an EC comic.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, they had forget Tales from the Crypt, forget
yeah.
the Tales from the Crypt movies. I think they even had old Tales from the Crypt that came out in the 70s or maybe the 80s.
No, they did.
Yeah,
they
and-
did.
and-
It was like the 70s. I want to say it was like probably like late 60s, early 70s. I want to say.
And you'll have nothing
yeah.
on Creepshow. Creepshow is one of the
no.
one of the best horror movies out there.
It is.
but it's also somewhat of a comedy too. It doesn't take itself seriously.
Oh
at
no,
all.
no, and that's why I'd recommend it for a party. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to freak out the chicks.
That soundtrack
they're
is
gonna
cool,
left.
too.
That soundtrack is amazing. I remember I went out of my way to find those tracks on
Yeah.
the internet, and luckily enough, I did find some of them. But it's amazing. That score really sticks out, and it's a shame that looking at a lot of these horror movies, like. That's my one problem with a lot of these horror movies today is they just can't get those soundtracks right.
No, they can't get it creepy. I mean,
no, not at all.
They're playing stuff to shock you.
And a lot of it's
I mean,
like piano work, and it's
in
it's
Creep Show,
amazing.
no, piano's some scary shit.
Oh,
Man.
yeah.
You just play piano by itself.
Definitely.
I don't know why that shit's so scary. Walk in the room, see a cat walking on that
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, hell, it did wonders for Halloween, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah,
So-
Shit, if you make a horror movie, you hear that, people?
Yeah,
piano.
all the way. Take them damn piano lessons like your mom's screaming at you. Do it.
Sitting there looking like the Phantom of the Opera playing that shit.
Exactly. see little kids all hunched over. Ding, 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 ding. And it don't take that many chords. Like ding, ding, ding,
But that's
ding, 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 ding. Sound like a pinball game after.
All you need is three. All you need is
What the hell? What did I pay all that money for? What the hell are you doing?
I'm writing a great soundtrack.
This is
all you need
greatness.
you need 3 notes for a horror movie.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. I mean, somebody walking
exactly.
through. Ding, ding, ding.
Exactly.
That's a movie right there.
This is greatness, mother. You are hearing greatness.
They start playing chopsticks. Ding, 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 ding.
Prepare to be horrified. Ding, ding, Your baby brother's doing that on the floor over there. You don't see me you don't see me like praising him.
But so man. Speaking of Halloween, you know they had I didn't know they were doing this. They had the big Thriller dance, the worldwide Thriller dance.
Yeah, that's right.
Big what Thrill the World?
Thrill the World. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and did I miss that?
Yeah,
when was that?
It was yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my God, man! I wanted to be a part of that.
What you gonna do? You ain't got no hands. You ain't got no legs.
Do
You
the
ain't got no
robot,
arms.
stupid.
You have to just move your head and glide us up.
It's gonna paint my face like a skull, like the Punisher skull. Yeah.
You just rolling. These fools are making a big deal about it too. Now I don't know that much about it. I might have my facts wrong, so people tell me. Now I think they wanted to beat the record for all time.
Yes, they're trying
biggest dance, if not just for the Thriller dance, but biggest dance ever.
Well, you know what? Okay, I think that is a small part of it. I think they're trying to compete with the biggest walk of zombies ever. Now, I could be wrong too, but I think the Alamo Drafthouse, I think they're the ones who coordinated this here in town, where a group of people were going to walk with the zombies, which is, apparently it's getting bigger and bigger now, and they're trying to outnumber how many zombies they can get that out.
Wait a minute, you know what? That was last week, because I was downtown going to a movie, and I don't know what the fuck was going on. I almost stopped the car. I'm not lying here. No shit. This is no joke. Yeah. I'm driving down the street. This is when Kent was with me, and there's a guy who's wearing what do you call it? He's wearing scrubs. Like he just got out of a hospital.
Yeah.
And he's got blood all over him, and he's stumbling. And look, I almost hit the guy. I'm not lying. The guy was stumbling. He almost stumbled in front of my car. And I almost stopped the car because we were like, oh, shit, what's wrong with this guy? And because we thought he was bleeding. We thought somebody left the hospital or ran out of an ambulance and was sick. And then we look over and we see all these people walking down the street looking like zombies. We're like, And I'm like, oh, my God, this fucker almost got hit trying to play zombies.
He's really into the role.
Yeah, his ass was about to be a real zombie. And I'm walking down the street and I got there guys who are like looking at me. I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a million zombie march what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
And they're trying to outnumber the amount of zombies they had from the year before. And I think Draft House put together something where they wanted to have a group of zombies walk with that bigger group, and they were going to walk down 6th Street. And then they were going to stop in front of the Ritz Alamo Drafthouse. And as soon as they all stopped in front of that place, the Alamo was going to play the Thriller song on their speakers outside, and then that group was going to start to do the entire Thriller dance.
Well, they had another zombie thing the week before because we saw it.
Oh, so you're saying it was a week before? It wasn't the...
Well, the Thriller thing was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Now the zombie walking thing was like a week ago.
Okay, then I heard wrong because somebody had told me it was supposed to be a part of that.
Unless it was something different. All I know is I saw a bunch of people dressed like zombies walking down the street. Now, it's funny because everybody's being zombies, they kind of acting mindless, and they're like, but they gotta obey traffic rules.
Oh yeah.
So you see a bunch of zombies stop when it says "Don't walk." They're sitting there waiting there. Okay. And then you get the people who are like kind of lagging behind, who kind of just.
You mean the fat zombies?
No, I'm talking about the people just kind of fucking gave up. They just like guys walking down the street smoking, like, yeah, dude, hey man, you want to go get a pizza? So like,
oh my God, what kind of attitude is that? Yeah, they go out of their way to dress up, and they're like, this is dumb.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if you're out there, you might as well go all the way.
Hell yeah.
Because after a while, you just look like some dumbass who got dressed up.
Well, I have to tell you, those guys, they have a lot of balls for doing that, because God knows if I saw that and I had no goddamn idea, if I were you in that car and I just saw some guy stumble up and then he started acting like a zombie, that motherfucker is dead. He's gone. He's shot. I'm going to bust out my fucking gun and shoot that asshole in the head, and then I'm going to run out and I'm going to go, see a horde of zombies and just go to town. I'm going to pull out my Uzi 9mm and just go to town. Like, what's that robot doing? No, it's a joke. It's a joke. We're acting.
You got to wonder,
go nuts. Yeah.
What year is it going to happen where some guy freaks shot and starts
Exactly.
like shooting them in the head. Aim for the head. People are like, no, fuck no, man.
It's going to be another
It's a
war.
joke.
It's going to be another War of the Worlds where people are going to flip out. They're going to hear the zombies are walking down the street. They're
Exactly.
going to flip out. They're going to start barricading their homes, or they're going to run out with shotguns, start looting, and start just go.
yeah.
All the rednecks are going to go crazy and get all their
people
friends
see-
and a 6-pack of beer and go nuts.
See what Coles is talking about, and I think it was 1950. No, was it 50 something or was it 40 something? No, it was. I don't know the date. Orson Welles
did
a radio broadcast
broadcast.
of War of the Worlds.
And
he read it like
it was played on Halloween. Yeah,
And it was played on Halloween like it was really like there was really a Martian attack.
Oh, yeah.
And people freaked the fuck out.
Oh yeah, people were like going nuts. I mean,
They talked to one guy who
trying to
went
get
out-
out of town.
One guy ran outside. Now his water well has been up there for years.
Yeah.
but that night that shit was a spaceship from Mars, and he shot at his own fucking well and stuff for years.
It's bleeding water. Look at that.
That bird, you're not gonna get me.
Oh my god! I can see that old bastard. He's there. His dog's barking. Oh, look out, Cletus! He's gonna pee on you, alien water.
But yeah, some people gonna think that like a real zombie invasion is happening. They're gonna start shooting people.
Oh
and
hell
shit.
yeah! And you know that it would have been tragic. It would have been all over the news. And I'm like,
But you know, in this
hey,
case, people.
what are you
down-
gonna do?
Yeah, shit. I thought it was zombies.
I thought it was a zombie war.
Nobody told me. I was prepared.
That's right.
Prepared for the zombie holocaust.
I was smart. I was stabbing everyone. You see some guy stabbing people with swords in the head. Boom.
Yeah, because you know there's some guy who wants the zombie apocalypse to happen.
Oh hell yeah! I
He's
want
just
it to
gonna be
happen.
ready,
I
yeah.
want it to happen. It will happen, Corey. Don't you worry, Corey. It will happen. So make sure I don't shoot you first. You
Some
gotta
guy's
pay
been
attention.
ready. He's gonna go out there, got his water saved up. He's shooting the first wave coming down the street. But see, on this day, people were just standing out there, just looking at people. It was like it had even kids that they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, it was
These
being
fools.
broadcasted, and back then, radio was like TV, so people were like, stumbling on this thing by accident, and all you hear is like, I mean, you hear commotion in the background. I mean, they did special effects and everything, where you're hearing like police reports, you're hearing people screaming and dying, getting killed by.
Oh, you
death
talking
rays.
about Orson Welles?
Orson Welles, yeah, and
that
Orson
must have
Welles,
been
yeah.
Orson Welles. That must have been in the 50s. It could have been. I'd say 50s. It could have been the 50s. That must have been like in the 30s, man, because Orson Welles was really young when he did it.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it made such a stir that it made news. I mean, it made headlines as far as at what had happened, because people honestly thought that there was an alien invasion going on.
You know, Orson Welles, like, you stupid motherfuckers.
It had happened in 1938, Corey.
Oh, okay. So it did happen in the 30s.
October 30th,
Okay.
1938.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting a repeat of that with the zombie holocaust.
Oh, and I cannot wait. I'm surprised nobody's done. We should do that.
Shit, I ain't getting shot in the head going down the street acting like a fucking zombie. I almost killed somebody in the first place.
I'm surprised you stopped. I would have ran his ass over. I was like, "Oh, zombie!"
Well, had he looked at me, I would have hit him. But I saw him from behind. Now he turned around and had that green face. I would have put on the accelerator. Zombie!
That would have been hilarious if you hit him. He started like getting up all slow, and I'm like, "Oh shit! He's a zombie! He's a zombie!
He's still alive. Back up on him.
Push it! Boom.
Come out with my tire iron
Yeah.
and beat his head in.
And your car lands right in the middle of 6th Street, and you see all those zombies head towards your
I
car.
just go through the
I
whole
start
crowd.
plowing through- yeah, Dawn of the Dead remake.
I got them all.
I'm killing them. Cops are shooting at you. No, it's them. It's them.
I like get out the car. And I saved the day. That'll make a good movie.
That would make a badass movie. I was a hero.
Dun dun dun.
Don't let them win. Damn.
I know we should write. You writing this down?
Yes.
All right. What else we got? Anything else you want to move on to before we?
Oh, any Halloween? You think kids playing Halloween video games?
Man,
I
I'm
didn't know.
playing a Halloween video game.
What are you playing?
I am playing a game now called Dead Space.
Oh, you got that, huh?
Yeah, I went and got that. It's cool, man.
It looks crazy. That commercial freaks me out.
People,
Especially with that guy who comes around. Yeah, yeah, it looks like a retarded thing, like chasing after his ass.
man, let me tell you something. For all you people who play video games out there, let me recommend some games for you real quick. If you can get a hold of a classic, now this is a PlayStation 1 classic right here. Silent Hill. The first Silent
There you
Hill.
go.
For those of you who don't know, I only bring this up because it's a movie. And that's how I'm relating this to this show. So everybody saw Silent Hill, the movie, but the first game, a lot of people say the second game, which is a better game graphically and gameplay wise, but the first Silent Hill, it's a trippy game, man, where the game opens up with you being killed. Because it's a nightmare sequence, being killed by these little murderous babies. And then through the whole rest of the game, you go to the city of Silent Hill. It's all foggy. You don't know what's going on. You're walking around, and the music isn't really even music. It's more like people beating on iron, like in gates and whatnot. Ching, 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 ching.
I love that music.
Yeah, I bought the soundtrack. Soundtrack freaks me the fuck out. I don't believe in ghosts and all that kind of shit, but my mind is so strong, man. If I play that music with the lights off, because I tried to do it, let me test my courage here. I put on that soundtrack, and I got up 5 minutes later and cut that shit off. cut off all the lights in the house. But you play a guy who's looking for his daughter. So you go to this city of this town of Silent Hill, it's pretty much been taken over by hell, and you go between the town looking like a lonely ghost town to being taken over by what looks like something out of Hellraiser. Everything turns to rust and blood.
I remember those nurses that look just creepy. They're all bending backwards and all kinds of crazy shit.
They're walking crazy. You go to a hospital to look for your daughter, and these nurses are in there just looking like they're being electrocuted, but they're walking towards you. And they got, it's just, man, it is, and then the little babies with knives. They look like little embryos, and when they come after you, they make noises like,
You know what's always creepy? The sirens. When the sirens start going off in that town for no reason. And then all of a sudden, the pterodactyl comes by.
Oh, yeah.
Every time, what are those things? Do they explain what those things are at all?
I can tell you this. The game was influenced a lot by a lot of imagery from a lot of things. They say Jacob's Ladder, the movie Jacob's Ladder, Hellraiser, and a lot of things that were influenced by Stephen King stories. So the fog and the pterodactyl coming through was influenced by The Mist.
The Mist. Okay, there you go.
And a lot of the shaken nurses and whatnot, that was Jacob's Ladder. And so whenever it goes into Helltown, this siren goes off, and unlike the movie, you're pretty much all alone, except for like characters you spot throughout the game. So and like I said, just the feeling of loneliness is it just freaks me out, man.
Wow. Well, since you're speaking of original PlayStation, I'm sure we both easily recommend Resident Evil. Game, I remember when I was watching you play it, and I was like, Corey, what the hell is this? Zombies. What? Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Come on over and watch.
Let's do this.
Again, Resident Evil has been turned into a movie, but the game...
Unfortunately, it was turned into a movie, but no, the game is so creepy, and the atmosphere of that game, they get it so right. And it's like, there's times when you're just walking through a room, and all of a sudden, a zombified dog comes crashing through, and I was leaping out. My head was hitting the ceiling.
I would bring people in, and I say, people would be like, man, I don't want to watch you play no goddamn video games.
Exactly.
Like, just sit down and watch me play this one part here. And it never failed. Now, people who don't, if you don't know what Resident Evil is.
By now.
I don't know. But in the game, you play a group of people who are called to go to a mansion. You go to this mansion, everyone's dead. No, everyone's gone. You don't know what's happening, except that everything that was dead starts to come back to life. All these people in lab coats, and then you got these dogs who are dead, obviously, but they're coming back to life too. And there's this one scene where you're going down a hallway and it's quiet, and you go down a hallway beforehand, nothing happens, but on your way back. You go through the windows.
And the thing is, they have these huge windows that you see to the right, and when you're walking down, you don't think that. I mean, back then, those games, you don't expect things to come out from like the windows or the doors or anything like that. Yeah. And I think this game like revolutionized that as far as when they'd come crashing through, walking by a door, and then all of a sudden all those zombie arms would come out and grab you out of the blue. It's like, and that would creep me the hell out.
Yeah, no, but, it's a very the second game was more like the zombie apocalypse, but the first game was like a haunted house movie.
It was a complete haunted house movie.
Yeah, and it is really for people who play video games, the term survival horror. This is the game that coined that term survival horror.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe it wasn't. Somebody said that there was a game before that, but I know this game is what made it popular.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it says in the game, you have entered the world of survival horror. But the game I'm playing right now, man, Dead Space, it's not as scary as people make it out to be. Like they say, it's going to really creep you out. You jump because things come out after you.
Yeah.
But it's a cool game, and they're making this into a movie. In fact,
they are.
In fact, they have a video coming out called Dead Space Downfall. It's an animated prequel to the game.
Wow.
And they say it's really bloody. They say
Yeah.
it's don't expect any. It's better to rent it and watch it. It's nothing special. But they say the reason why it's animated is because if they tried to make a movie out of it, first of all, it would be expensive. Second of all, it would be an NC-17.
Yeah.
Because it's
Wow.
so bloody. Yeah. But in the game, what you play a guy who is part of this team. You call to a spaceship. And when you get to and it's a mining spaceship called the Ishimura or something like that. I don't know. And it's huge. Spaceship is huge. So you get there.
Long Dong ship, yes.
Yeah, it's a distress signal you're answering, and pretty soon nobody. When you try to communicate with it, you get no answer. So you get there, and of course everybody is dead, and you don't know what blood is all over the walls and everything. Now you see all these dead bodies everywhere. But what starts to happen is a few of the bodies start to come back to life, and not coming just back to life, but they're turning into other creatures. Like they got fangs and legs coming out of their arms and everything, and so in order to you have to you set on a bunch of missions, which requires you to go in and do things all alone in this ship infested full of these dead bodies that are coming back to life. That's monsters. And the game has a real cool mood to it because it's dark. Your shadow is cast on walls in a way where you don't know if that's a creature coming after you or if that's you.
Wow.
There's the sound in the game is great. You hear whispering going on the whole time. And you don't know where it's coming from.
Wow.
And and what I mean by it's not scary is because you're a guy who's wearing a big space suit and you got a badass gun.
Right.
So
It sounds like a better version
Of Doom.
of Doom and also of Event Horizon.
well, the game is a mixture of Alien, Event Horizon, and The Thing. All those things pulled together. So if you're a fan of those movies and you like horror video games, and I love horror video games, then this is a badass game, and it's going to be a movie.
They're going all out because I know there's supposed to even be a comic. I mean, there's a
comic book series
out,
too.
Yeah.
So all these video games and movies are going hand in hand now. So and it's and it plays much like a movie too. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You should,
Is it available on what consoles is it available?
that's Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Okay.
So
Damn.
no Wii for you.
No Wii. Come on.
But that was a good one, man. Resident Evil.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were playing Resident Evil not too long ago, Part
Part
4.
4.
Yeah, which is easily as creepy, and on the Wii, it's incredible.
Well, you
I
know
mean,
what? It
were
starts
playing-
out creepy, but it moves on to like an action.
It becomes
game.
an action, yeah.
Because the creepy part is when you go into that village.
Oh yeah,
And everybody just goes nuts. The whole village turns on you.
They're cool at first, and then all of a sudden just something snaps.
You see a dude
they start
milking a
attacking
cow.
your ass with a cleaver. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And people pushing eggs and shit, and they're talking Spanish to each other. And they see you, and they're like, "Oh Lord, asshole,
Gringo,
and that music kicks in. Dong,
Maricon.
Yo, americano, pinche americano.
Maricon is you know
Whatever. I don't know.
you know, we won't get into that. What that
But
is.
yeah. So anyway, that's our Halloween video game.
There you go.
One classic though, I gotta recommend if you want to get something for the kids, strictly for the kids, and something for the adults who want to like have some good flashback memories.
Yeah.
I go every Halloween putting this on. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
There you go. The Great Pumpkin. Yeah. Even though it depresses me sometimes, all them damn Charlie Brown episodes depress me.
Man, it is depressing.
Yeah.
It's like it's Charles Schultz. You got to read his book. That was that fool was disturbed.
Is it anything like the? To be honest, I've never read any of his stuff, but is it like the movies? As far as like the tone, I know sometimes like stuff like that, it usually takes on a bit of a darker tone.
Man, you talking about something scary for Halloween? Charles Schultz was disturbed. Everybody
really?
remembers him as being lovable with
Yeah.
Snoopy, but you read his book, he had some issues, man. Like
really?
he held grudges up. Now this is the book. I don't know.
I hear
never
the
met
same thing
man.
about the guy who wrote Winnie the Pooh. Like those are.
Apparently, if you write shit about cute animals, you got problems.
Yeah.
I love Charles Schultz to death, man. That guy is one of my heroes. My ultimate hero, probably one of the biggest influences on my life. But that motherfucker had grudges against people in high school till the day he died.
Wow.
And I think a lot of that had to do, because a lot of his early stuff with Charlie Brown is for children. It's pretty dark, man. And what I mean by dark, maybe dark is the wrong word. It was very heavy in tone, especially for children.
Yeah.
I mean, the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, is just about children's hopes being dashed, man.
Right. You probably understand it more as an adult as you would if you were a kid reading it.
It's funny when you're a kid because it's funny. Everybody knows the Great Pumpkin. Linus is waiting for the Great Pumpkin. He turns down, making out with Charlie Brown's sister, and he turns down going to cool parties and trick or treating.
Yeah.
He's out in that fucking pumpkin patch all night long, and nobody. And Charlie Brown's little sister tries to be cool with it. You know, she's like, I believe in you, and it's all about having faith in someone. And not only is that person getting their hopes dashed, but you believed in someone who let you down. Because the Great Pumpkin never shows up.
Yeah.
And when they do think it's him, it's Snoopy fucking with them. He comes up as the Red Baron.
The asshole. Yeah, Snoopy was an asshole.
and it's so funny because there's no Great Pumpkin, but Linus is convinced that he said, if the Great Pumpkin shows up, oh no, I said if. And so he's convinced that because you're never supposed to say if, you're supposed to say when.
When.
It's almost like this whole rant against religion. I mean, in a way, it's like the moment you just say the wrong thing, all your hopes come dashing down.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, and I recommend this for kids.
Yeah.
No, but kids can watch it. I mean, it has a great soundtrack. It plays the Linus and Lucy at the dun 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 dun.
I know the song chorus.
Everybody knows that. That's the jam, boy.
It is. It is. The jam.
It has the great sequence with Snoopy acting as the Red Baron. Has that great gag of Charlie Brown, who's always a fuck up, who can't. He cuts the ghost costume with holes in it, and he keeps getting rocks. People, but even the adults don't like him. They're like, "Oh, it's a fucking Charlie Brown. Give him a rock."
What did he really do? Is there something that they're not showing us? Like, was this guy throwing shit at people's houses? What's going on? There's that asshole Charlie Brown, shithead Brown,
Doo-doo Brown.
There you go.
But that fool, man, he could never catch a break. As a matter of fact, this isn't Halloween, but I recommend that a lot of people watch a really great movie called what? That was the one with Charlie Brown, A Boy Named Charlie Brown. It has a great song at the end. It's just a boy named Charlie, a boy named Charlie Brown.
Oh, my God.
But in it, Charlie Brown goes to the spelling bee.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember that?
Yes,
and it's
I do
a great
remember.
movie,
Wow,
man.
it's been forever since
he
I've
goes
seen
to a spelling bee, and then everybody's like really behind him. They say, "For once in your life, you ain't fucking up, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
He's got something good he can do." He goes there, and he's one of the last two people in the spelling bee, and they maybe one of the last three, and they ask him to spell beagle. His dog is a beagle.
Yeah.
He fucks it up. And he goes, it's depressing, man. He goes home, and nobody's waiting for him at the bus station.
Right.
It's all quiet.
It's just him and Snoopy, right?
I think so, because Snoopy went to go find him.
Yeah.
No dogs allowed.
There you go.
Because he's looking for him.
I remember that.
Because, that's it. Linus goes with them. And Linus is sick because Charlie Brown's fucked up. Linus is sick because he has that addiction to that blanket. Yeah, and his blanket gets taken away. He's going through withdrawals. So I think Snoopy tries to bring him his blanket back. And everywhere Snoopy goes, like goes to the library, no dogs allowed. But they finally get there. So when they come back, nobody's waiting on them. Linus and Charlie Brown get home. Charlie Brown just goes home and just says, "Fuck it, man." He hides under the covers. Like he has the shades down, and it has one of the most poignant endings for an animated film I've ever seen. Linus comes in, and he pretty much doesn't come in and say, "This is what's great about this." He doesn't come in like a kid's movie would take and say, "Oh, we love you, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, we were wrong." No, everybody just says, "Fuck it, we're not gonna talk to Charlie Brown." But Linus comes over. He doesn't give him a pep talk. He's like, "Hey, Charlie Brown, you know what, man? Did you notice the world didn't come to an end?"
There you go.
And Charlie Brown's like, "You know what? I guess it didn't." He gets up, puts on his shoes, goes out to try and kick that football. Lucy pulls, the bitch that she is pulling that football. She pulls it out, and she's like, and he falls on his back, and she's
classic
like,
scene.
"Hey, welcome home, Charlie Brown."
There
And
you
it's
go.
like, "Hey, man, that's cool." Charlie,
my life. Oh well.
You're right though. What did Charlie Brown do, man?
I have no clue. We'll never know.
That you know that he grew up to.
He was a Klansman. That's what he was. That's what it was.
When Charlie Brown, when the camera wasn't on him, Charlie Brown was talking to Snoopy. Now those fucking niggers come in our yard. I want you to bite them, okay? That fucking nigger mailman that comes by.
Snoopy dresses up as a Red Baron, looking for him, looking for the blacks.
Come
Here
down,
come the coloreds. No blacks allowed.
God, get your dog, man. Get
Oh,
your
my
dog. Trying to deliver the mail.
There you go.
But anyway, so that's that, man.
Oh,
Yes, go
real
ahead.
quick, another movie to throw in is Evil Dead 2. Obviously, that's an obvious one.
got
We don't even have to go into
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But do you remember a film that came out? It came out on television, and it was called Night of the Scarecrow.
No.
You don't remember that?
I don't. I honestly do not remember that.
Okay,
no.
this is. I don't even know if it's available. If you can find it on VHS on eBay or somebody threw it on DVD. But I remember seeing it was a TV movie, and it was probably by far one of the creepiest TV movies I've ever seen. It's basically about this in the small town. I think it was in Kansas. A kid gets killed. And now I'm trying to really think hard because I saw it when I was first created, and basically it's the first thing that scared the living shit out of me, only because of a scene at the very end of this film. But basically it revolved around a kid was attacked, and basically. Everyone in the town, including the sheriff, was looking to see who attacked this kid, and they find out that they believe it to be this older guy who was basically he was retarded, and he had his mother. He lived with his mother, who was a really old lady. But basically, they go to find the guy, and they basically ended up killing him and I believe. No, they didn't kill his mother, but they ended up killing him. Mm-hmm. So they killed the retarded guy, thinking that he tried to attack a little girl,
like they do all retarded.
Exactly, and so basically, it becomes a revenge movie where this scarecrow, basically that's out in this field. Starts disappearing every time one of the gang of guys who went to go look for that guy. They start ending up getting killed in weird, mysterious ways. But this scarecrow, you always notice this scarecrow. And basically, at the end of the movie, the sheriff ends up getting killed, and the sheriff ends up getting killed by running into a pitchfork that's right in front of the scarecrow. And the thing is, like the little girl who is supposedly attacked, what used to be friends with a retarded guy, and that's why they believed it to be him, because they knew that retarded guy liked hanging out with his little girl, and they thought it was creepy.
Yeah.
And but basically, at the end of this film, the little girl walks up to the scarecrow, and she calls the scarecrow by the guy's name. And you see the scarecrow just hanging out, and then it's the only part in the movie that you see the scarecrow animated, where the scarecrow just kind of tilts his head down and looks at the little girl, and she's smiling up at him. And the scarecrow is the creepiest fucking scarecrow you will ever see in your life. But that one scene, like, just creeped me the hell out. But you got to find this movie. It's just so old, and I wish I could find it on VHS or DVD even. But it's called Night of the Scarecrow. Try to look it up, Google it. But you'll check it out. It's one of the creepiest scarecrow films.
Damn, makes
I've
you wonder
ever
what
seen.
happened. Did they actually finish the retarded guy off? Did he like come back in a scarecrow?
I guess his spirit came back in a his spirit came back in scarecrow.
Like
Yeah,
Chucky or some shit.
Yeah, it was strange because people were getting killed by like the those big silos where the corn, like some guy gets suffocated because the silo gets turned on and corn
falls
drowns.
on
Corn falls on this guy.
Damn,
and he's
death by
suffocated
corn.
by exactly. And I was like, yikes! I was like, why can't the guy when I was a wee robot? I was like, how come the guy can't eat his way out? What's that? What's the big deal? But
Didn't like corn.
Man, but I tell you what, the mood of this movie, it was creepy, and it had one of those old style like NBC like TV movies where it was shot on film.
Movie,
It was a TV movie. It was shot on film. But
pretty creepy for a TV movie,
it came
man.
out like around, I want to say like around the mid 70s or so.
Damn, for a TV movie, that's wild.
Yeah,
man.
but I tell you what, that shot is probably one of the creepiest shots I've ever seen. I still think about that shot every Halloween. Whenever I see scarecrows out, when people have their scarecrows, I think about that scene. That he was just hanging.
You start screaming.
And looking at that little girl. The creepiest thing was that little girl was out in the dark in front of this cornfield, talking to this scarecrow. Because throughout the movie, people would look over and see the little girl talking to the scarecrow once in a while, and you thought, maybe that's like her like one of her friends.
Yeah,
or something that she
they
just
kill
made.
a retarded
But then-
friend, so
but
now
you
she's
then-
talking
but-
to scarecrows.
Yeah, but then you put it together at the end that it's basically the spirit of the guy's name is Bubba. The retarded guy was named Bubba, I believe. Yeah, so
Bubba the retarded guy.
Yeah, and oh my God,
Bubba-
look for it.
Bubba
That's
Gump.
something. Yeah, that's something to look for.
It was Bubba from Forrest Gump.
It might be, yeah. It might be on YouTube for all I know. But check it out, Corey. You would love this.
All
You
right,
would love this
I'll
movie.
see if I can find it, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit I've been trying to find. Like I said, I tried to find that Mad Monsters thing. I couldn't find.
You don't have that on DVD?
I got Mad Monster Party.
Oh,
Mad,
but
not
now,
the
that's
sequel.
right. Okay.
And
I bet you I'll find it.
I'll try to find this too, man. It's I would love to see that.
Oh, dude,
They had a bunch of crazy shit like with Night in it, like Night of the Gargoyles. They had a movie, and that was a movie about these. It was a '70s movie, and apparently in the '70s they had a lot of Night of something.
Yes.
Night of the Gargoyles,
Night of the Living Dead.
Night
I'm
of the
sure.
Living
Just
Dead,
yeah,
Night of,
that movie. Yeah,
spurned that,
basically,
yeah.
spawned that.
Night of
series.
the Lepus with the killer rabbits.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, all right, and it was always a killer something like killer gargoyles, killer scarecrows, and
Right.
killer rabbits. It should make a movie.
Killer
with all of those.
cockroaches. Oh yeah.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and do we cover everything we need to cover?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, then.
I can't think
All
of
right.
anything else.
All right, that's the Halloween recommendations. There
There
All
you
right.
go. Have fun with that.
Okay, so now we can go ahead and finally get on to what is the real purpose of this show.
The point of the show.
Well, I guess we're kind of getting
No,
away from that.
I won't even say it's the point. We just, I
We
figure,
just, like I said, we just bullshit.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
We can get into some emails right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, go ahead and get into our first email here. The first one is from I can't read this person's name. Chahadi. Well, you know who you are when I read your email.
M. Night Shyamalan.
It says, let's see. I'd just like to know your thoughts on a few anime movies that have been universally known as masterpieces. More specifically, I'm focusing on Spirited Away, Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and Howl's Moving Castle. I feel that these movies are amazing, and I'd just like to hear what you think of them. Let me see. Look, okay, first of all, I mean, let me just say, Akira is one of my favorite movies
Yes,
of all time.
it's still one of my favorite movies. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
even
that
though I
movie-
still don't know what the hell's going on, I still love watching it.
No, I've watched this movie for years. Don't know what the hell is happening.
I'm always like, every year maybe I'll get a little bit smarter and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, and you can. I mean, you'll be able to like piece it bit
Yeah.
by bit every year. Like, oh, I missed that piece.
Like maybe I should read that big ass comic book it's based on.
Yeah, exactly. No, when
Like,
you get
nah.
through, no, that's all right. Yeah, because it's based on a comic book series that's
Mm-hmm.
big. Because I remember reading the comic book series for a little while and thinking like, oh, this will help me figure it out. And I'm like, this ain't nothing like the movie.
Yeah.
and that shit went on and on. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like they got huge books collected behind that. But no, Akira, directed by a guy Katsuhiro Otomo. I think he co-wrote it and he directed the movie.
Yeah.
A bunch of animation houses in Japan did it. That is actually one of the most influential movies coming from Japan. In fact, maybe that's why you can't understand. You got to be Japanese to understand this shit. Apparently, they were out there, man.
You
But-
need some noodles. Though.
Yeah, but that movie has had a big influence on animation here in America. Not just anime, but on animation. Period. As an industry, it helped also usher in a new adult age of animation, and because Japanese have been all about
Like Legend of the Demon Womb.
what the hell is
Remember?
that?
Yeah. You never seen those? I can't think of the actual title. It's like Yuka Tokashaka or something crazy like that.
That
But
sounds like
basically-
one of those movies where you got tentacles coming out. Of some
That's
girls' vaginas
exactly
and
what it
shit.
is. I think that series
I ain't
like
into that
basically
shit.
invented that craziness. Where I saw one of those by accident. The Dolby Theater was like notorious for playing any kind of Japanime that was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, look, Japanime! I'm gonna go check it out." And then the first 5 minutes, you see demons with dicks coming out like snakes, raping and attacking women. And I'm like, "What the hell? What the hell am I watching?" Ah! And that's all it is, like one big rape scene. And I was like, "What's the plot? Just rape, demons
See,
raping the
all
world."
that kind of stuff I'm not into. Look, let me
No.
tell you something. A lot of people think I make fun of anime and I don't like it. I love anime. Anime is one of the biggest influences on me growing up. I mean, because I was always, when I was a kid, I was always like, why do people treat animation like it's just kid stuff. Because every now and then you'd find those movies by Ralph Bakshi or something, and, and everybody would say, oh,
Heavy metal.
Yeah, heavy metal. Yeah, one of my favorite things,
Yeah.
man. And people say, oh, that's kid stuff. I'm like, well, why you say that? Because it's a cartoon. It's like, I don't even like to use the term cartoon for that. It's an animated film. And people be like, whatever, man. And I was like, it's cool shit if you just look at
Hogwash.
it. Yeah. Hogwash and poppycock. These funny pictures you walk in.
I don't stand for baloney.
But so the only place to get it where they actually, as an industry, treated animation as an adult art form was in Japan, and there was a lot of stuff over in Japan that I would watch, and Akira was one of those things that I was just heavily looking forward to. But this animation as overall, though, today you say something like Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away. That guy's name is I think it's Hayao Miyazaki, and I love his films. Howl's Moving Castle is not one of my favorites.
It was okay. I saw it not too long ago, and I just thought it was all right. But no, Spirited Away is incredible.
Spirited Away
I love
is great.
Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. What was the movie that he did that had giant bugs and a girl who rode around on like some little
giant bugs?
Yeah. It was,
I know there was one with a cat that was like a bus. God damn it! What's the name of that? The one where the cat is like a bus. Yeah.
I'm thinking of other things. He did a lot of. I'm talking about adult stuff, but Hayao Miyazaki did a lot of things that were like great family entertainment. Kiki's Delivery Service.
There you go.
You remember that with the witch who had the delivery service who rode around? It sort of looked kind of like Europe and Italy.
Yeah.
And then there's Porco the guy with the pilot with the pig's head.
Yeah.
I know these movies sound crazy to people,
Yeah.
but anybody who's into animation, anime, anything, watch this guy's movies. He's a brilliant, visionary guy. Man, I really...
He's the equivalent to their Disney over there, I would believe.
Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, he's kind of shying away from computer animated stuff. His next movie is going to be, he says, all done traditionally, pencil, paper, cells. Now, why anybody would want to do that shit today, I do not know. But
we'll wait and see what happens with that.
But yeah, no, My Friend Totoro.
There you go.
That's
My Friend Totoro. That is right.
One with the cat that turns into a bus.
I thought that scene was just really cool. I mean, it's visually, I was like, wow, it's a short scene, but it really floored me watching that cat. Like it was a bus cat.
Yeah. No, that's just like his Alice in Wonderland in a way. In fact, I really believe that this director was influenced by Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, you can't help. Yeah, the way the cat looks. I mean,
it's a Cheshire cat.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of his protagonists in the movie are little girls, little heroines, little heroin addicts. No,
awesome.
They're like little girls. Like if you look at Kiki's Delivery Service, you look at Spirited Away, you look at something like My Friend Totoro, his children. I mean, it's all the imagery and going to another world that's kind of weird and almost absurdist.
Talking frogs.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, Spirited Away, another movie that makes no fucking sense to me at all. At least. Yeah, but it
makes some sense to me, but yeah,
it's a great movie.
It is a great. I love watching it.
And as a matter of fact, if you just want to watch these guys' movies visually, then I mean they're amazing to watch. There's so much shit going on in them.
I know there's some pretty amazing box sets that you can find of that guy's work. So go to those places where you find that kind of stuff, and pick them up.
But the Japanese, they do great things with science fiction. I mean, a lot of that stuff, giant robot stuff. It's kind of corny in a way.
Well, I love the Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell. I mean, I know those are older, but for some reason, like those older anime films still stick out to me the most because a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, there's so much of it, so oversaturated. I think that I'm sure there's some gems out there, but they just get lost in the shuffle because, I mean, I guess they don't theatrically release them here like they used to. I don't know if just because they think there's no real market for it. Or
think about things have changed. I mean, even when they released something like Akira, they had to do it strategically, like playing it at a lot of college campuses and art house theaters because
like the Dolby, like I said, that's like a college. Well, at one point, it was like the art house theater you go to and is located on campus. And that's where I saw a lot of those films. Yeah, and that's what but today it's such a specialized audience, and there's so much money to be made on DVD. Oh yeah.
So you don't see a lot of it released theatrically like you would back then. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I can see exactly why they would do that. But There's you mentioned Ghost in the Shell, which there was a TV series. I thought the movies were kind of boring, but they did a TV series for it, and the TV series has like a great budget to it. I can't. I've seen those shows like 10 times over. Like they cycle through, and
You still don't know what the hell's going on?
I don't know what the fuck is happening, but it looks great. There's if I can recommend one animated people, if you like the Terminator, there was a cool version. I think the movie was called Black Magic M66. It had a robot that was a female robot built for the military, and you had this a journalist who's going out looking at the story, and she has to try to stop this robot that broke loose, and it's kind of like what you wanted to see the Terminator do before they made Terminator 2, because this robot was doing all kind of badass things.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, you know, the Japanese, they had the robot doing martial arts and shooting out
crazy shit,
shooting out fucking bombs out of it when people try to stop it, poison gas. There's a scene where this girl's trapped in the elevator with this robot, and she has to have this device in the middle of them because she can't get out of the elevator, so they have to like scale the walls to get away from it. It's called Black Magic M66. It was one of my favorite movies when it came out back in the day. Watch it. I know I'm geeking out right now. The question was about anime, so
well, hey, I'll throw in one real quick.
Oh,
too.
wait a minute. Let me stop and render real quick.
All right.
We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Go take a piss.
After this quick render. All right, we're back here.
All right.
Damn, co-host just showed me the end of that Scarecrow movie. It's on YouTube. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, it is on YouTube, and the correct title is it's called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Now Batman's not in it, so don't get too worried. But no, it's called Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It came out in 1981, and it was Charles Durning. Who played a postal worker. He wasn't a sheriff. I thought it was a sheriff, but it was a postal worker.
And Charles Durning, you'll know.
He was Hudsucker, and he's a character actor. He was Hudsucker and Hudsucker Proxy.
Okay,
But he's the one that grabs a group of guys, and they go after Bubba the retard. Yeah, and basically mysterious deaths start to occur on these guys. And this scarecrow, scarecrow just appears in their pastures, which these guys notice, which is the creepy part. But you never see the scarecrow move or anything until, obviously the real creepy ending I described. And yeah, I just watched it, and it still creeps me out.
All right, that's it. Hey, did you have some? Were you about to bring up something?
Oh yeah. As far as we were talking about anime. Wicked City. I don't know if that's out of print or if you can find that, but Wicked City,
that's fucked.
That movie is fucked up, but it's so awesome. I mean, think Men in Black, with the exception of they're going after creatures that are like the Thing. Instead of going after aliens, they're going after demons.
And they look like genitalia. Or
yeah, I mean, you see these hot, they'll be like hot chicks luring a guy into a room only to find out that, her arms all of a sudden turn into spider legs, and her vagina all of a sudden has teeth, and like it's chomping away. It's the craziest thing, and it has like this perverted little old guy who's just looking to fuck with any opportunity. He's like he looks like it's like a perverted Yoda. And there's a really crazy scene where he's like going to town on this one chick, and all of a sudden he starts to realize that she starts to melt, and he starts melting inside her, and he's like inside her breast, and he's like suffocating, and her breast is like,
I remember that scene.
It's crazy.
That movie really messed my mind, man. I was like, that's when I was like, I don't know if I can get into this kind of shit.
It is crazy, but it's awesome though. I mean, like I said, it's a hardcore version, I think, of like Men in Black.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Yes. Yeah, Wicked City. It's worth a watch.
It is. It's made by the guys who did Ninja Scroll. So
and Ninja Scroll is another crazy ass movie.
Yeah, which I love. I love that film.
All right, here we go on to an email from Samantha. Samantha says,
abroad?
Yeah, Chicky. And she's got a good email here, too. Mm-hmm. She says, I grew up watching Westerns with my dad and have loved and appreciated them all my life. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm starting to notice that most people my age don't have an appreciation for them. And most people who do, they're in the ages of 35 or over. Mm-hmm. So she says, I just saw 3:10 to Yuma. The theater was full of people who were 40 and over. And let me skip down here. What does she say? She's like, she said she thought it was a really good Western. And and she thought I was. Let me pull this.
What's the
up.
question, Corey?
I know, man. I should edit these things. I'm like,
Yes,
but
we
you
should
be-
prepare like
Well,
Leon.
I am prepared here, man. But the thing is that I moved. Man, I got so much shit to do. I just grabbed
Corey's
these
a
emails.
busy
and put them
man.
up. Exactly.
Doing animation.
Let
Animation.
me see. I just skipped to the point here.
Yes.
She says,
Now, she is right though about older people being into westerns. I know. Until my computer circuits were getting nice and old and rusty, I started to really appreciate westerns.
well, here's what she says. She says,
is that what she says?
She's okay. Here's what she says. Seriously, she says, I know that if younger people would sit down and watch a good Western, they would see how incredible it is and want to watch more. But let's be honest. Do you think that's really going to happen? Westerns used to be one of the most popular genres in film, but now they're only getting 1 or 2 a year. Do you think the Western is a dying genre? I hope it isn't. Well, Samantha, look. I mean, the Western is something. It's
I mean,
It's
would
never
you
going to die. I mean,
No.
it's not. But it's not going to be something that you can do every, about
Right.
10 a year. It's
Yeah.
a very specialized genre.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some genres which are just not going to go away, even if we see a little bit of them. Now, some genres are a product of their time, and you're never going to see them like they were again. Thing that comes to mind is blaxploitation. Blaxploitation, that was a reaction to its time, and today some of the imagery in that is probably even offensive.
And Corey, might I say, let us have a moment of silence right now.
Oh,
for Rudy Ray Moore,
Man, I'm
your
gonna get
hero.
into that. I mean,
Are you?
We'll
Okay.
do it right now. We'll take we'll take a minute right here.
Yeah.
Like, not a minute, but we'll take about 3 seconds of silence here. Motherfucker! He made that a line. Motherfucker! But yeah, blaxploitation, you're never going to really see that like it was when it first came out because again, there were two things going on. Some of the imagery was offensive because it was made by people who just didn't understand black people. And then some of it was made by black people who made it as a reaction to what was going on in cinema then. You don't have sort of you don't have the gatekeepers who are stopping black people from actually being in movies as like you did back then, or being more prominent in films. But westerns, that's an adventure genre. You can always find a good way to make a western.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's good ways to make modern day westerns right now. I mean, where obviously a lot of films, take some of their characters and plots straight from westerns, and which westerns took that from a lot of samurai films.
Yeah,
I mean, Yojimbo. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like we're always going to see period pieces of certain films. I mean, we're going to every now and then we're going to get a swashbuckling movie that's based on a pirate. Are we going to see a pirate movie every month? No. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, it's just like with anything. I mean, we're going to see certain types, and all of it falls under adventure. I mean, a western falls under the adventure the same way that a pirate movie would, or even a science fiction movie would in a certain way. It's a mythology that keeps it going.
Oh yeah,
we have this mythology of the cowboy that's out there, that like the lone guy who goes on against the opposition, or who goes out in the middle of the street to take on somebody one on one.
And he's not necessarily a good guy.
Yeah.
I
mean, well, at one time he was the hero, and now we've found a way to actually re-examine that.
See,
and
I come from my westerns, or basically Sergio Leone films.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that turned me on to westerns. When I finally actually watched and really paid attention, they blew me away. I mean, the cinematography, the characters. I mean, and none of those guys are straight up good guys.
Yeah.
And those movies, it made me really appreciate westerns. And when I was getting into that, a few years later, then 3:10 comes out, and that movie, I was like, okay, wow, that's about as close as you can get. That, and of course, Unforgiven. Unforgiven is basically, we talked about this before. It's almost Clint Eastwood's love letter to the Sergio Leone films. But I mean, I'd rather wait for great westerns to come out every once in a while, every few years, instead of them just coming out as like just like the fantasy film for kids, where there's going to be one great one and then a bunch of bad imitators.
Yeah.
So when they do come out, I mean, like 3:10, and I didn't see the Jesse James film.
It was a good movie. It was a good art film. It's not a Western in the sense of
In the
the
sense of-
gunslinger going
right.
in and taking on a bunch of guys coming into town and saving the day. Nothing like that. It was more of a thoughtful film. But, I mean, let's look at it. There's always these elements that we're going to want to see that can be transferred to anything, and even if it's put within a Western, which is what a lot of people use to describe what they're doing. I mean, a lot of people describe Star Wars as a Western.
Oh yeah, exactly.
A lot of
Yeah.
people
Han
have-
Solo was the gunslinger. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people describe a lot of cop movies that we see today a Western. Some people describe RoboCop as a Western.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Western is a template for certain adventures and certain mythologies. So you're always going to have that Western film come out.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then we're going to want to see that gunslinger go into town and either take on that one bad guy or fend off a bunch of bad guys who are coming in to just burn everything down and rape and pillage or whatever. Because that's the hero, you know. I mean, so yeah, there you go. It's not a dying genre whatsoever.
No.
All right, so hey Corey, with the Quantum of Solace movie coming out, that's the James Bond film,
Newest James Bond.
the
flick.
latest one that'll be out in November. Who is your favorite Bond girl or favorite villain? And that is from Myths and Legends. Oh man, you know something? I'm going to give you the typical answer for a Bond girl, just because, and it is very shallow because it's the name, Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
And Pussy Galore came in. Now she was a badass too. I mean, she wasn't some Bond girl who James Bond was having sex with. She brought in her girls. Like she had a whole team of girls who came in.
Yeah.
Like the Pussy Galore girls, and that was in Goldfinger that we saw Pussy Galore. And she came in ready to take on the villain, just like James Bond was. And she kind of helped James Bond out a little bit.
Yeah.
Not just helping give him some ass, but So I would say that is my. That's my favorite Bond villain. I mean Bond girl. As far as a Bond villain goes, oh man, I mean
They all start to kind of
they blend together. So
yeah,
much.
they do. And
Look, if you want to take the quintessential Bond villain, the one that actually started the imagery of the guy who had who was behind the scenes working all of the shit, you know, the man behind the man working
Yeah.
all the traps and the nefarious schemes and whatnot. Blofeld.
Blofeld,
Yeah, Donald
Pleasant. I was just about to say because I mean, yeah, out of all the villains,
I mean, he was.
I love
yeah.
Donald Pleasant just as an actor, but yeah, whenever he's the bad guy in that film,
He's an
it
iconic
just-
villain.
Yeah, it sticks out so much.
Because who do you think of? I mean, what do you think that image of the guy who sat down with the cat on his lap?
Oh yeah,
And
that's
like
from
I said,
him.
he worked from he from a lair. He worked all of the shit. I mean, that was Blofeld. I mean, the guy. I think he actually had a lair in a volcano.
yeah, oh, yeah. Doctor Evil. I mean,
He was influenced
yeah.
by Dr. Evil and the Claw and
Claw, and Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you. And he always had a cat on his lap and shit. Yeah,
Exactly.
Now that's the exaggerated villain. I am more, and I'm more the guy who likes the tamed down versions of James Bond because they got to be really silly. Like I was kind of getting tired of them because they would become parodies.
it's a terrible question for me just because I didn't really get into the old Sean Connery James Bond until much later after seeing Austin Powers. So watching those films now, they're really hard to watch, at least for me, because they start turning into Austin Powers films all of a sudden, and it's really hard for me to pay attention.
Well, a lot of people would say Jaws, the guy with the
Jaws, yes.
the iron-
Well, see, that's the guy.
iron
Yeah,
mouth.
that's the one I remember. When I was created around the time when. Jaws was around, and Roger Moore was playing.
Moore was in,
was playing 007, and so I mean,
I love Yaphet Kotto in Live and Let Die, but I mainly love him because of his death. Like James Bond stuck like an air tube or something in him and blew his ass up, and that's the one where he had the guy from the Sprite commercial, Sprite, it's the limiting one, whatever he says. But do you remember the villain that he fought, the voodoo doctor? And at the end of Live and Let Die, that voodoo doctor was on the back of the train.
Yeah.
You know, they
oh yeah, yeah, that crazy ass laugh. Yeah, that was like his villain power.
Yeah, he come in laughing,
Exactly.
hanging onto a train, laughing at the end of the credits.
Yeah. I don't know what that power did, but he just managed to get away half the time just by laughing.
Poof!
Yeah.
The 7-Up guy.
Exactly.
So I love that guy, but. Man, it's hard to find a villain because when you want to mention Bond villains, the most memorable ones right now are the cartoony ones.
Exactly.
And if you want to know the truth, I've told people who people thought I was crazy. I said I thought that the last Casino Royale was the best James Bond movie since Dr. No, which is the first
I agree.
Bond movie.
I agree. I was about to say the chick that was in that movie, she's my favorite Bond girl, to be honest.
Well, her last name is Green.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but she was hot, man. And this girl is poised to probably be one of my favorites because she's hot. And that's the girl from Hitman.
Yeah, the girl who only lasts about 10 minutes in these
video game movies.
Yeah, those video game movies. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Yeah, but anyway.
But yeah, so
as far as Bond girls, the chick from the last film.
because I like the villain that they had
Pleasance.
Bond villains are known for being eccentric. Like they're known for, like we say, Jaws Blofeld, somebody who has a voodoo guy as a sidekick or something.
Yeah.
But the guy in the last movie, La Sharif or whatever his name was a guy who he was sort of a business tycoon in a way.
Yeah.
Sort of a dealer. I guess he dealt in arms or something. But his only eccentric feature was that he just had blood come out of it. He cried tears. And they explained like he had some faulty tear duct or something.
Yeah.
So that was he wasn't too crazy. He was just a guy.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. I want Bond to get back.
He seemed realistic as far as the
Exactly.
villain. I mean, he was still getting shit from the other guys. Like they were threatening to kill him if he didn't get his shit together. So I'm like, all right, I believe that. I can believe this villain. He's not straight up evil. He's not the untouchable villain.
Exactly. So I appreciate that. So anyway, you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't.
All right. Let's see what we have next here. Hey, maybe you know this because I don't.
Yeah,
I'll
tell
admit
me.
I do not know. It says, hey guys, I was wondering with Quarantine coming out as a zombie film, what is the deal with the World War Z movie? I was a huge fan of the book and I heard there was a movie coming out and I was just wondering if you had any news or whatever.
None. Forget about it.
Thanks. Okay, that came from Handy Andy.
Handy Andy, yes. Handy Andy, there is no news on that whatsoever. You can look on the internet and you'll probably just end up reading the old news, which it's always getting ready to be in production.
Isn't it? It's not in production right now?
No.
I thought it was.
Yeah, unless you found out something recently, no, I have not heard anything as far as that movie moving forward. And I remember writing I remember reading something about it like a year or two ago where they talked about it's going into production, and then they'd say that the script was written by Straczynski.
Straczynski, yeah.
But I haven't heard a single thing as far as
Straczynski is a comic book writer, but he wrote on. He also wrote on some science fiction shows. I don't know that.
No,
much
he did Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
He's written Rising Stars.
That's the comic book
Spider-Man.
series,
Yeah, he did comic books for a while. But as far as it moving forward now, I mean, I remember reading stuff about that before the strike happened. So
you might want to look that up
strike.
at some point because I heard that they had a cast. And
I
stuff.
always hear the same shit, and every time I look to verify, I get nothing. But I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now if you want. So
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, see if there's anything new because somebody swore to me that this was going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I'm not doubting you. I
I mean,
don't know.
honestly, if it were, if I mean, the last time I read something, if it was in production, you'd be seeing production stills right now. You know, people would be talking about it because it'd probably be one of the most anticipated zombie films ever. You know.
Look and see, man. I really thought that was going through. World War Z, by the way, it's a book by Max Brooks. That is Albert Brooks' son. Albert Brooks, the great comedy writer. Max Brooks has the first thing he wrote was the Zombie Survival Guide.
Survival Guide, yeah.
The Zombie Survival Guide, which is it's a manual written like an actual manual. Let's just say you're going camping or something. You get a book that shows you what to do.
If you've seen all of Romero's films, you don't really need to see it, but it's still entertaining. I mean, I love the part about using the sword.
It's a
to
great
kill
book
zombies. Yeah, no, it's a great book. No, it is a great book.
Treat it as a science. It's like it's all. I mean, it's a humor book, but it's done exactly real. It's done totally real, and it's very straightforward. They say this is what you do if zombies attack. They explain that why zombies exist, why they don't decay, how they function, why they're reanimated, and then the book gives you an account of certain of zombie encounters throughout history that led up to the information they received to make this book. So it's written like a manual.
No, it is, and it's great.
And then he went to write World War Z, and the whole book is a fictional account of a great world war that happened due to the spread of a zombie virus and how the world came together almost from extinction to fighting it off. And and it's all told from first person accounts.
Yeah.
So it's all written as if
and,
people said they were there.
And the audio book it has Mark Hamill and it has Mark Hamill here.
What's the dude from MASH? The great actor. Alan Alda.
Yeah, Alan Alda. He's on there. Let me see here.
But
it's an all-star cast on that audiobook, so you should go. You should definitely go pick it up. Yeah,
and I read the book. I read both those. I mean, it's a great book. I mean, it starts out a little bit slow because it's kind of weird to get into because it just starts out from first-hand accounts.
Right.
So it's not like you're being drawn into a story. So you just have to get used to reading little bits and pieces.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to see them really try to pull that off in a film. But
so
like
did
I
you
said,
find out they're making it or not?
I'm looking while we're talking here. Pardon me. I wish I can get more involved in this conversation. I'm really.
I know. I'm sorry.
Hard,
okay.
I know you're asking me questions while I'm looking, and I'm like, Corey,
I'm looking. Damn it, I'm looking.
God damn it. But no, I mean, no, it's all the same shit. I mean, I'm looking on Wikipedia, which they're pretty good as far as updating with production, and no, nothing. It's same old.
All right,
crap.
I'm full of shit then. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody out there knows, please, because I'm looking forward to the movie. If they ever get it going.
We'll make a blog about it. And we'll post it.
Yeah, they were talking about it was Brad Pitt's company that was going to produce it.
So, yeah, Brad Pitt's looking at it. I mean,
I know.
God knows who else is looking at this.
Yeah,
but
you figured
I hope they do it right. I hope they do it some justice. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, like I said, I'm still looking, and I cannot find a single thing as far as anything going on as far
All right,
as
well,
production.
there you go. We don't know. We took the long way around saying we don't know.
Yeah. But but check out the audiobook. The audiobook's pretty cool. Like I said, Mark Hamill, Henry Rollins is on the book. Is on the audiobook. Let me see. Steve Park, you know who he is? I don't know who he is.
Park.
John
Shit.
Turturro. John Turturro.
They got John Turturro on there.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. They got Brad Pitt on there.
It's a pretty
George
good
Clooney.
cast.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know if those are on there.
But anyway, I'm just
Benji
looking.
the dog?
I'm looking at this on Wikipedia right now. So, but. Yeah, we'll be the first to tell you.
Shit.
Enough about that. Next,
I don't know.
Yeah, it makes me depressed just because I'm like, ain't shit happening with that film.
That's just gonna be on DVD
exactly.
next week. Made for $3.
Somebody's gonna hear this like, oh, did you hear it's moving forward? No.
In fact, I think that was the movie. Walking down Congress that day, I saw that zombie thing.
There you go.
When I almost hit that guy, they were filming it then.
Yeah.
I almost hit an extra on the set. So, all right, we don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our next question here, which is from, now I don't know how to say this girl's name. If she spells it, you have to go and fuck it this up. Yeah, she's fucking with us, man. It's N-N-I-E, so I don't know if it's Ni or Ni. Yeah, I'm the girl who says Ni. So I don't know.
A strawberry.
Girl, what is your name? Call us or something sometime. Let us know what your name is. I'm just going to say Ni. So she says, where do I start? I imagine you must be somewhat of an animation buff. I guess you're talking about me. And
with the animation.
I know. And the art and marketing behind animation has changed so much with the introduction of newer technology, bigger studios, and computer graphics. What animated film, show, or even short do you think had the largest impact on the decade it was created in? And what was the impact? Well, real quick, we just talked about, if you want to know some innovative shows, Astro Boy and Speed Racer ushered in one phase of Japanese animation or anime. Now, a long time ago in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Then there was a complete second phase that I think happened with Akira. And we just talked about Akira. We don't even go into it a whole lot, but Akira actually brought in a whole new awareness to Japanese animation to the Western world here. So.
Keep going, Corey. All these animation questions are catered towards you.
Okay,
so
but
I'm a grown robot. I don't watch cartoons.
No, you just read comic books all day and ask me about video games.
Right?
Fuck you.
I do what a man does. Man robot.
Man bot. But so now, if you want to know what was probably one of the most influential films. Now, if you want to in America, like I said, Snow White ushered in the whole age of making theatrically feature-length
Disney
animated
itself,
movies. Disney, as far as recently with computer graphics,
Toy Story?
I was about to say Toy Story. Toy Story, that was made in '95, the first totally CG animated film. Everything followed suit after that. It was hugely successful, critically successful, did great numbers. So that had an impact on how we produce animated films today. That was one of the things that kind of started this whole deal with Disney saying, you know what, we're just going to work with Pixar, kind of give the boot to 2D animation after a while. And the rest is history. So that, needless to say,
And you got Wall-E. There you go.
And now you got Wall-E. As far as a short goes, well, if you want to know about computer graphics and animation completely, everybody's going to say Jurassic Park and whatnot. Tron.
Yes, Tron definitely. Yes, a big influence.
That's the first one to really kind of bring in CG animation into films and use it extensively like it did. If I'm wrong, let me know. But
like
that's
the last Starfighter, too.
Yeah,
the last Starfighter had
that
a big
was,
influence.
that was
but
only
it was,
because of Tron.
It was only because of Tron, but it started to push it as far as just when they started doing vehicles. And there's a really cool documentary on the Last Starfighter DVD where they start doing the CG animation of the ships. And they have X-wing fighters.
Yeah.
Just a little demo of X-wing fighters flying around.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure obviously that people started working on those programs and it becomes the new special edition Star Wars.
Yeah.
So.
No, there you go. If you want to know what had the biggest impact on animation for television, we had a rebirth of animation on television because of The Simpsons. And I guess that rebirth kind of being animation playing in prime time. You had the Flintstones and some other Hanna-Barbera shows that were on in prime time back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But they've pretty soon.
Yeah. I'll even throw in South Park, Ren and Stimpy.
Well,
I mean,
that follows because I would say as far as adult animation being played in prime time, Simpsons did that.
Yeah, Simpsons did that. Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy influenced the whole style of animation. That was just the wild, crazy style of animation. So, I mean, we can go on and on with certain things that had started a whole resurgence or a new genre of animation in a certain medium. But those are some of the highlights.
Right.
So, let's see.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Good question for Corey.
That was a good question.
Yeah.
Let me see. No, this is a long one right here, and I'm not. Somebody wrote a fucking novel.
Great.
Just to ask
Let's
us.
read it, Corey.
I ain't reading that shit. No.
Let's read it. You're bringing it up. We might as well read it.
I'm not going to read. It's from okay, I don't even know who it's by.
I always love it when you give that answer. I have no idea.
I have no. I forgot to put
this.
that down. Whoever, you know who you are, but they pretty much just took three paragraphs to ask us: are you looking forward to Spider-Man 4 and 5? Not really.
No.
I mean,
I mean, if they make the next one,
you go ahead and
up to par with part 2. Yes, but after watching part 3, and if Marvel is still, if they're still throwing in notes to Sam Raimi to throw shit in there that just Sam Raimi's not interested in, it's gonna suck. Because if you ask me, Spider-Man 3, I'm not even gonna get into it. Spider-Man 3 was made by a committee. And it's there for you to see. It's a mess. I don't like it. So after watching that tragedy that Spider-Man 3 was, I can't say that I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to try to make up for that film.
It's funny because he says in all caps, I'm gonna stand back. I am not asking you and co-host to bitch about Spidey 3.
Hey,
I'm
sorry.
asking you guys to talk about Spidey 4 and 5. Now do this.
He's giving me orders on my show? Kid can go to hell with him and his questions. Shove that question up your ass. Don't talk to me like that on my show? What the fudge? No. Sorry, pal.
I like the way you say "fuck with me" about my name. All of a sudden, you throw a fudge out there.
Yeah,
fudge with me.
I was about to go crazy, Corey, but
I
had to calm
fudger.
down. Yeah, you fudge you. Go fudge yourself, you and Spider-Man.
Dude,
Put some of his webs up your ass. But no. webs on that mouth. Quit asking stupid questions.
That's me stupid ass questions.
No. I'm sorry. It's a package deal. We just have to. I mean, because it bases our opinion on what we're going to think of the next movies. I mean, what
Spider-Man?
Well, it's like, oh, we can't wait. It's going to be great. Epic. Sam Raimi, he ain't gonna fuck it up.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Marvel is not gonna fuck up their property. I guarantee it. They don't ever fuck up anything. Especially they never recast. They never do things they shouldn't do.
Shit.
Yeah. I hate Marvel, by the way. Marvel Studios, I hate them.
Do you?
I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
After reading about what happened to
Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, why isn't the director bitching?
Yeah,
right now
Terrence
to Marvel?
Howard is the guy, of course, who was set to play Warhammer. What was his name in the movie?
War Machine.
Warhammer. Jack.
I even know that, but
he was pretty much Tony Stark's sidekick.
Yeah.
in Iron Man.
In Iron Man, yeah.
Put it this way, he was the black dude from Iron Man.
Exactly, and he was a cool black dude. I liked him, shit. But
as opposed to all the other black people that you don't like.
He spoke real well, but no. But I was pissed off when I read that, and I'm like, how come? Where the fuck is Robert Downey Jr.? Where is Jon Favreau? Why are they not bitching at Marvel right now?
They probably did.
Hey, what the fuck? Well, they should tell the media, hey, we don't approve of this. We don't approve of what Marvel's doing. We're gonna make the movie, but we don't agree with it. This is fucked up.
Robert Downey Jr. probably did say something, and then Marvel said, "Do you want your paycheck?"
Man,
and Robert Downey Jr. was like,
and that's
"I'm
the
sorry,
thing.
you're right."
And Robert Downey Jr. I mean, as much shit as he likes talking, especially that rant he went on about the Dark Knight, that motherfucker. I don't see why he can't make a big deal out of this, because I'm sure the studio will pay attention. I'm surprised. I am shocked at Marvel fans. That's Marvel fans. I like to slap them around sometimes, Corey. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised those nerdy little dorks with their Thors and their Captain Americas throwing his gay shield. How come they're not starting up? Why is no one starting a goddamn petition to get this guy back into the role that he made obviously cool?
Can I tell you why?
Why? Because he's black. Is that why?
See, I wasn't going to even bring that in there.
It's because he's black. Marvel fans are a bunch of racists.
It was
not I'll have nothing to do with them, Corey. I will have nothing to do with them. DC all the way, brother.
I was not going to bring race in there. Hey, you know they're talking and like that uppity black guy asking for money.
Exactly.
They gave him a bowl of chitlins. What more does he want?
Well,
look,
hey.
I can tell you why nobody's writing a petition.
Tell me why, Corey.
Because petitions don't work. That's why.
They do.
No, they don't.
Hey, look at Batman Beyond, the unrated. That petition worked.
I don't even know nothing about that. No,
we'll talk about that next week.
All I know is that people tried to think about this. People tried to petition and boycott them talking about the retard stuff in Tropic Thunder.
So you're telling people to give up, huh, Corey? Don't protest. Don't do nothing. Just keep your mouth shut and you get what you deserve. Right? Is that what you're telling me?
But co-host, did you notice something?
What?
The world didn't come to an end.
Don't you ever tell me that, Corey. Don't you ever tell me that on my show.
Co-host.
No dogs allowed.
That's what they told Terrence Howard. No blacks allowed.
Yeah. Marvel, you son of a bitch.
Who asked for more money?
Yeah. Damn.
No, man, who knows, man? I really thought that people.
I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed when I read that, and there's no upcry or nothing.
It's funny because they just pretty much said we can get another black dude, and you just got Don Cheadle.
What?
Don Cheadle didn't even call up Terrence Howard and be like, "Hey, man, is this cool that I to take your place?" He just took it,
and he don't even care. You know, that is a guy. I'm pissed off at him too now because if I'm like, I ain't gonna do that to another brother. He's my brother. I can't take work from my brother. I can't do that. It would not be right. I am Don Cheadle, and I don't do that.
It's a black thing.
I support you. How dare you, Marvel, ask me to replace him? How dare you? But does he do that? No. I'll sign up. I'm gonna be a superhero. Not he don't talk like that, but
I know.
Well,
at least you didn't make him sound like I was gonna be
Irons Man.
Irons Man. Eyes closed every day. I can do it.
The lasers come out of my eye. No, it's not Superman.
I can do this.
I want a big S on my chest or a big B or black. Sorry.
What was the question?
What was the question? Oh, if we're looking forward to Spider-Man 3 and 4. That's right.
Okay, no. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Man, we have emails that come in themes. It's funny how these people think alike. We just had somebody asking about World War Z. Now, this isn't really a question here. It's more of a comment. They're talking about. They said, I was just writing a comment on what you said about quarantine. Scariest part being the military coming after them. And in the movie Quarantine, it's the military that keeps them in while there's a rabies or something going around inside the place. And I said that was pretty scary to me. And he goes on to say, I felt the same thing with 28 Days Later. Me and my friends would get together a lot and talk about movies where we wouldn't, God damn it. Now,
you want me to read that for you, Corey?
No, I don't need you.
Fuck you. Did you screw up his email?
I can do that. Yeah, I had to. Yeah, in a way.
Watch your mouth, Corey.
So, fudge you.
Yeah.
So I felt the same thing with 28 Days Later. Me and my friends get together a lot and talk about movies we would or wouldn't live through, like Battle Royale, Night of the Living Dead, etc., etc. And I have to tell you that even though those zombies were gold medal long distance sprint runners. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of this.
What the hell?
I don't know where his fucking going.
What's the question, Corey?
Like I said, there is no question, but there was a comment of him saying that he found that too, that the military scared him the most in that movie.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, it's really hard to scare me in movies these days. If you want to scare me with tension or suspense or scare me where humans are doing things to other people.
Right.
You
exactly. Humans, the thing with those zombie movies, it's always the humans that are fucking up.
Yeah.
And that's the best part to me. I mean, the zombies just happen to be there, and you get to see the consequences when people don't work with each other. They get fucking ripped
in
apart.
Those movies
and they deserve it.
In those movies where the humans turn on each other, that's where the real craziness comes in. But even something like, let's take some Holocaust movies. I mean, those are scary to me. When a fucking Nazi walks into the room and there's a bunch of Jews sitting around waiting, it's like,
Corey, that happened. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Because that wasn't science fiction.
No,
the Holocaust wasn't science fiction.
Nazis didn't come from the moon.
I thought when they say the zombie Holocaust, is the same thing as the Jewish Holocaust. I didn't know what you talking. No, man, those movies because that's history.
Yeah,
that's man's atrocity against somebody else.
Right,
man. When a Nazi walks into for example, I saw a movie that was so depressing and it frightened me so much. And I don't like this movie because it was nothing but one depressing thing after another. It was called The Gray Zone. I think Tim Blake Nelson directed it. If you want to know who Tim Blake Nelson is, Tim Blake Nelson, he was you've seen him before, a character actor. You've seen him in a lot of movies, but recently he was in The Hulk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played the guy that Bruce Banner went to go see. He was the guy sending Bruce Banner all the messages.
It's another character actor. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He directed one of the most bleak, depressing Holocaust movies I've ever seen called The Gray Zone. And it was nothing but Nazis coming in and just talking shit to Jewish people and blowing their heads out.
Wow.
And like Schindler's List. Very nervous for me. Very nerve-wracking.
It's hard to watch that film again.
And
it's a great film, but it's hard to rewatch.
And I have never been so nervous than when I see like a helpless Jewish person walk into a room and you don't know if they're going to just talk or if they're going to pull out a gun and shoot everybody.
Yeah.
Or just do some other crazy shit. I hate Nazis, by the way.
Yeah?
It's
good to know that, Corey.
Because I tell you this. I went to go see Saving Private Ryan. I had a friend of mine. She told me, like, her and her boyfriend went to go see that. And she was like, I didn't like that movie. And I'm like, why? Like, she said, I like the Thin Red Line better. Oh, that 3-hour fucking Boar Fest.
Exactly.
The movie I fell
the guy who gets lost in the jungle.
And we watch him like actually try to find his way back in real time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, hey, look, you like what you like. That's cool. I said, I like Saving Private Ryan better. I think it's a great movie. But what is it that you didn't like about Saving Private Ryan? She's like, well, I just didn't like the way that they portrayed the Nazis in the movies. I mean, aren't Nazis people too? I'm like, no!
What?
No! I mean...
Who are you hanging out with, Corey?
Apparently the Aryan Nation.
Jesus Christ.
Now, who said the Aryan Nation was racist? They let me hang out.
Damn.
But, no, it's you know how it is. People get that real liberal fucking the granola shit, hippie shit going on.
I don't even call them liberals. I call them dummies.
Yeah, I mean, and man, I'm just like... Fuck you. I mean, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You got to have a tinge of humanity, even when you're looking at something as atrocious as
I can see that.
I see what you're saying.
I can see a broad saying that.
But, I mean, come on. Really? If Nazis, the worst of the worst, I'm talking about, did this as a collective, No, they're not human. These are fucking monsters,
they
man.
are.
To me,
They are
all right?
monsters, yes.
You know, I mean, I don't see how you can get somebody, men, women, and children, and just put them in camps and then go in and abuse them and murder them. Like, to me, I'm sorry, I don't see
And
it.
that's a whole other form of brainwashing that I will never understand. I mean,
I would-
it is a scary thought to think that one person
And that's why Germany right now. Look, I know I got
managed
some,
to pull this off and almost won. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, he no, I don't think he almost won. I mean, he had America and fucking Russia.
Well, if you read-
Russia more than.
Well, if you read your books, I mean, obviously, I'm only saying this because the books I've read, you know, everyone always gives scenarios where if he would have done certain things, he could have possibly have won the war. So,
Really? Like,
yeah.
what things are those? I mean, I don't know.
Well, like the fighter jets, I believe, as far as he didn't want fighter jets. Basically, I can't. I'm
buying into
yeah.
when you say he almost won. I'm buying to like
Yeah.
the most
There's
crazy shit they talk about, like the whole
strategic
thing where
things that he should have done that he didn't want to do for whatever reason.
like
I
he
mean,
didn't want fighter jets.
Yeah,
Well,
he
you know
just-
why Hitler
yeah.
didn't want fighter jets because he was dabbling in the occult. He was
Yeah.
creating
And
Nazi
that thing-
Superman.
and that's the thing too. Yeah, you always, and that's you know, it's crazy. Yeah, but you think that just sounds retarded, but. Yeah, I mean, he was honestly. He
No,
was,
they
he was
dabbled
really
in the
into
occult,
it.
but he wasn't going to
Yeah,
make
I mean,
any
he-
kind of like mechanical Nazis
Yeah,
and
exactly.
shit, and Nazis that could fly.
I mean, think
because
about the
they had devil on their
Rocketeer. I
side.
mean, the Rocketeer they had that was hinted at as far as creating these men with jetpacks.
See, that's mythology, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
Nazi
just
mythology.
craziness, yeah.
They weren't going to do that. That's
No,
why they did lose,
yeah.
because Hitler was talking about, I want the jetpacks.
Yeah.
It's like, motherfucker, we
Yeah.
got tanks. No, I don't want tanks flown by giant bats.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dropped on America. Why? I turned them Asian all of a sudden. I don't know why.
It's funny because I used to know this stuff, and I haven't looked at it in so long.
Look, like I said, I got some friends with German, but Germany they do not want to talk about that shit.
Oh,
'cause
no.
they know-
I mean, no.
I mean, we got dictators all around the world, so I'm not even trying to make it seem like Nazis. I mean, Germany is the only one, but it's funny because the whole world, even other dictators who are doing the same shit, got their
Yeah.
eyes on Germany. Like, don't you start that shit again? The moment somebody could just scream in Germany, be like, "Hey!" Be like, don't you sit your ass down?
I know. I'm scared now. There are a lot of kids listening to this. It's like they're going to repeating what we're saying in their history class. I'm like, who the fuck told you that? Yeah.
John Bats dropping
Yeah.
tanks.
Rocketeers. What? Hitler's getting Rocketeer. What? Flying around, winning the war.
What the occult? They work with the devil. They
Yeah, Nazis going to the moon.
Yeah, kids,
What?
you want to know about real Nazi history? Go play Castle Wolfenstein. Go play Return to Castle Wolfenstein. The Nazis had monsters and all kind of stuff.
Weren't they going to make that into a movie? Huh?
What happened to that movie?
Exactly.
So, man, that's all our email.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, I wanna do something real quick here. So let me go ahead and render this out. I always want to say shut down, like, phew, but let me go ahead and stop and render, and then I'm gonna come back with my special presentation. All right, co-host, before we get out of here this evening, I just wanted to pay tribute to someone who is my hero, my idol, gave me years of entertainment.
Oh boy. Yeah. I know who he is.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know.
Someone who I discovered many years ago, but has since then been an inspiration to me. Back when we were doing the Access show,
Oh yeah.
his clips made our show that much more funny.
I remember seeing this guy in one of your earlier interviews. I thought it was probably one of your first interviews, but
He was my hero back then, and I got to interview him, and that was one of my first interviews, and I have not met anybody since then that has been such an inspiration to me, someone that I have not held in such high regard. Of course, I would be talking about Rudolph Frank Moore. Many people know him as Rudy Ray Moore.
oh, that's who I
That's
thought
the
you
one-
were talking about. Yeah, I didn't know who's that other guy. Who?
Rudolph
What?
Red-Nosed
Is that
Frank
your
Moore.
uncle? What's going on?
Other people know him as simply Dolomite.
Dolomite. Yes.
That guy. I mean, I have to tell you, I discovered the first movie that I saw of his years ago. Now, for those of you who don't know who Rudy Ray Moore is, he was born back in March 17th, 1927. He died recently on October 19th, 2008. And he was a man of many, many talents.
Yes.
Actor,
Yes.
comedian,
Yes.
singer,
Singer.
producer,
Producer.
pimp.
Yes,
All right,
pimp.
all right, at least-
But hey, but don't forget martial artist.
Oh, and Kung Fu artist extraordinaire.
Yes.
At least on film.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks to Fast Forward and yes, the greatest
Even-
martial artist of all time.
I cannot tell you how much. I mean, I'm doing this kind of tongue in cheek now, but really, this anybody who knows me knows that I have received so much entertainment from this guy and his movies.
Yeah. Corey worships this guy.
I worship this guy. I actually met him twice, and I regret that I did a second interview with him.
Yeah.
The whole reason why I started getting into digital technology is because at the access station I was using the big old cameras, the kind where you had to like have a separate tape deck from the camera, and
Right.
you had to have a separate sound machine, all this, a separate battery pack, and all this stuff was huge, like a fucking brick.
Ancient technology,
And
just
I-
like me.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Better than you. But but and I'm taking the mic off here because we're going to be playing some of the highlights from his past films
Yes.
that it gave us
Some
so
of
many
his-
laughs.
Some of his masterpieces.
Yeah. Now I'm going
Yes.
to take the mic off a little while, so I'm sorry for the disturbance. Don't do it yet. No, not yet. But I did a second interview with him.
Uh-huh.
And that interview has been lost forever because it never recorded.
Oh, Corey, what? You
Yeah.
forgot to push record?
Man, you had so many wires that you brought out with you that I connected
Wires aren't
something
buttons,
to the one.
Corey. Come on.
Listen to what I'm telling you, boy. I'd lost. I don't know. Something was not connected properly or tightened up, or I forgot to hook up something, and I lost that interview, man.
Oh, professional Corey is. He never
Man, I was
disappoints.
so sad. Maybe I have it on audio. I should go back and look. I think
You
maybe
should.
I caught the audio, but I didn't.
If you,
get
hey,
the,
that works for us.
For now, it
Yeah.
does. Back then, we were all video. You
Yeah,
know, we had
we
to
were
have
screwed.
every, yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking I should go back and see if I found it. But that night, I got to know Rudy Ray Moore very well because he actually called me, wanted to know where I was for his shows and whatnot. Because at the Alamo Draft House. Now, look, this is a name dropping because I never tell people this kind of story unless in a tragic situation like this.
Right.
We picked up Rudy Ray Moore at the airport, and me and Tim League from the Alamo Draft House, we went driving Rudy Ray Moore around Austin at different bars and clubs to actually promote his show that he was going to be doing at the Alamo. He was going to be showing Disco Godfather.
Wow.
And we took him to different places to do comedy acts, and we interrupted cover bands and say, "Hey, man, Rudy Ray Moore is here. Can he come up and promote his show?" And they would stop.
You were on tour with Rudy Ray Moore?
I was on tour for a night. I was on tour for about 3 blocks.
Touring Austin, yes.
And it was funny because we would go in and he would do his show, like his little stand up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that funny.
Oh.
He told some Monica Lewinsky jokes, and you could hear the audience.
Oh, he updated his material? What?
Yeah. And the audience was like, huh? You could tell the band was like, fuck, this was a bad idea.
And she
But
stuck that cigar right up her ass.
Monica Lewinsky. That's what his like punchline was. Like, you know what I'm talking about? And Mullins be like, no, who? Monica Lewinsky. And Mullins be like,
Chirp. Oh, poor guy.
But the show that he did the next night was incredible. That he did at the Alamo Draft House. All the people showed up. He showed the movies. He came out and did some stand up. Talked about people in the audience, and everybody loved it.
Awesome.
And I was so happy to be a part of that. And he was, he would say, "I want Corey to be there for that shit." I was like, "Hey, that's kind of cool." So I got to have a moment with my hero.
That's
Now,
badass. Wow.
let me tell you some things that he did that made me really love this guy. Well, he just made 5 movies that I found hilarious.
I thought you were going to tell me he touched your leg or something. I'm like, oh.
Oh, I didn't tell you about. Everybody knows that. I didn't tell you about the incident in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Corey,
Stop.
I heard you love me. But no, the movies that he did that are the best known because you can get them in 5-pack are Dolomite, its sequel, The Human Tornado, Petey Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law, Disco Godfather, which when I saw it, I think it was called Avenging Disco Godfather, but it's just called Disco Godfather now. And there was another movie called Rude. I think that it was his stand-up act, which don't bother.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, but okay. So these 4 movies that I know of right now, and they are hilarious. And the first one that I saw was what was it? The Human Tornado.
That's the first one I saw that you showed me, and yeah, that movie blew me away.
It starts out with him running from the sheriff of a small town because he slept with the sheriff's wife.
Right.
And then he goes to the big city. Every move that he made somehow came back to him having to stop he would go in and he would either own a club or a friend of his would own a club. And down the street, there'll be a rival club that he had to stop, no matter how it started out. Dolomite, that was the core of it. The Human Tornado. He's running from the sheriff. He goes to a town, meets up with a friend who owns a club. Who needs his help from stopping a club down the street.
Usually Queen Bee, right?
Queen Bee, yeah.
Yes.
P.D. Wheatstraw, the devil's son-in-law.
Yeah.
He sells his soul to the devil. Why? So he can help stop a club down the street.
Exactly.
But the great thing about these movies is that he's my hero, but these movies are so bad that they are good.
They're
they
works of art, yes.
They're ridiculously crazy. And there are some great lines in this movie that are a staple for any Dolomite fan. They know these lines. I ran out the house real quick. I didn't get Dolomite, but I got my two favorite ones that I quote all the time, and that was The Human Tornado and Disco Godfather. And here are some of the lines that I would play on our show that people would love. Such as this line right here, where he gets caught by the sheriff's husband. The sheriff's husband comes in, catches him with his wife, and the wife says, "He made me do it." And I love his response to that. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Let's take a listen.
He made me do it.
Bitch, are you for real? No wife of mine.
And the sheriff just shoots his wife.
Kill him, Charlie.
John Carpenter do that?
I said, kill him, Charlie. No, Charlie.
Oh!
All right, you can pause it.
Yeah! I'm sorry. Let me. I just paused it on Rudy Ray Moore's ass, his naked bare ass.
Because
I still can't.
on,
I
get
can't.
out of here.
It's a 5-minute scene, Corey. I'm sorry.
And after that, Rudy Ray Moore jumps up, shoots the sheriff's deputy who shot the wife, and he jumps off of a hill naked.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because in the movie you see him jump and the movie just stops. You're like, some of y'all don't believe I jumped. Well, watch this good shit.
Yeah.
I use it as a clip of the week. Play that shit.
There you go.
He's jumping off the cliff.
There he goes. Boom! And he is really jumping.
So y'all don't believe I jumped, huh? So watch this good shit.
And he shows it. Ouch! Damn.
Listen to this music,
That
man.
music is action-packed, Pee-wee.
Now, go ahead, pause the real. He sounds like Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
It like makes you think, is this Samuel Jackson's uncle or brother? Some
know,
of y'all don't believe I jumped.
That's like something your dad would do. He's like, you don't believe. It's like he's showing you what he did, and he's gonna have to rewind it.
And I love the fact, if you see this, people rent this movie. It is insane. It's funny that he jumps off the hill naked.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he still manages to put his hat on.
Yeah, that's the one thing that just needs to go on.
And he rolls down that hill, man.
It's crazy.
In this movie, interesting little point here, a little bit of trivia. The Black Ghostbuster himself, Ernie Hudson.
Yes,
is in this movie.
He is in this. Yeah.
And there's a few other people who, if you know anything about R&B music or anything, which most of you probably don't care, there's some other people in there. But anyway, yeah. So, man, you should put it on the fast forward a little bit. This because this is you probably heard us say this line before. And you can find these movies anywhere. I mean, they're pretty popular. You probably have already seen them yourself. But when we saw this, we like, man, we hit gold here.
Yeah.
In fact, we used to when we let's see, hold on. They have okay. Wait a minute.
There.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pause a little bit. This is the line right here that you probably heard us say a lot. But we used to play that line all the time. Bitch, are you for real? Back when we were playing clips on the show, like when somebody would say something stupid in a movie.
Real deal.
Real deal. We
Yeah.
inserted with, bitch, are you for real? People get a kick out of that. But I love this he's known for rapping. He's like, he calls himself the Godfather of rap, like everybody else does.
Every rapper right now owes this guy something.
Yeah, that's what in his mind. He's like, rap wouldn't exist without me. I created that shit. And if you listen to him, I mean, he rhymes, but his rhymes ain't all that great. But they're funny as hell, man.
They are.
And this is one of my favorite little rhymes that he does right here. The sheriff's people were chasing him. He gets out of the car, and even though they're in a high speed chase, he manages to run up a hill, point his shotgun, and give a little rap.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear it.
All right.
I'll stop this long-haired, seat-fapping, dilapidated sheriff now, cause he just wanna follow me anyhow. He think he's bad and ain't got no class. I'm gonna rock this shotgun up his motherfucking ass.
Here we go. Oh!
And he shoots the car and his car explodes.
It's funny because he shoots his own damn car in order to make it explode.
You niggas is running. We got a lot of running to do because we going to California. Watch out for snakes up there. By the way, Jimmy, if a snake was to bite me on my leg, what would you do? I'd suck the bite, Dolomite. Well, Bo, if a snake was to bite me on my ass, what would you do? Dolomite, I guess you'd be a dead motherfucker.
All that shit was like, it was like edited in post. Like none of those voices matched with
Yeah,
those guys. They weren't even moving their mouths.
They're not, yeah, exactly. These guys are walking by and they're not saying a goddamn thing. This shit is just coming from out of the air.
And then the movie comes on. He's obviously wearing a wig in the opening credits. He starts out with a big cape with Dolomite at the bottom and everything.
He's just looking as crazy as ever. But
Yeah, no,
God, do I love him for it.
Yeah, no, I love this guy, and everybody has heard me say that I love this movie, Disco Godfather, because it has one of the biggest freak out scenes in there. Before we close tonight, this is I want to leave you with this lasting line from Rudy Ray Moore, my hero. This shit is deep. Let's go ahead and put that in, and then we'll play it for you.
All right.
All right, this is a brilliant piece of filmmaking right here. Now, in Disco Godfather, Rudy Ray Moore, who is the Disco Godfather, is going after a drug dealer, a guy who deals in angel dust. He goes into at the end of the movie, he goes into the drug dealer's lair, which is like a spook house or something. And he has henchmen and everything. It's like a video game.
Right.
He gets captured. He's given a dose of angel dust. And now you think he's going to save the day? Like, the movie doesn't end like that. This is bold filmmaking here.
Yeah.
It ends with him being high on angel dust, and while he's kind of helped save the day, he's freaking out. He's lost
just
his
loses
fucking
it.
mind, man.
Yeah.
It ends with him choking the drug dealer, hallucinating, and his nephew comes in and stops him, and the movie ends with one of the best lines in movie history, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and I'll play it.
You're not my mother. You're not my mother. Uncle Chucker, you're evil. You're evil. Kill him, Uncle Chucker. You're killing. Uncle Chucker, no. It's Bucky, Uncle Chucker. Bucky, when did you get out of the hospital? Uncle Chucker, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. All my fault. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Tucker. It's all right. Call an ambulance. We gotta get him to the hospital fast.
Take your hands off of me. You're not taking me nowhere. No. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Take your hands off of me.
That's the end of
Wow.
the movie right there. He's screaming his ass off, talking about, take your hands off me. Ah! But, a little bit of trivia right here, too. The guy his nephew that's trying to help him out in that scene, that's the Shogun of Harlem. That's the
No
guy
shit?
The guy from the Golden, not the Golden Child, but from, God damn it.
The Last Dragon?
The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
That's the
That's him?
Shogun
That's
of Harlem.
Shogun?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, hold on.
So,
I'm gonna look back real quick.
Look,
Pause
pause
it
it.
on this guy's face.
Boom, 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 boom. See, look.
Oh
look.
my God! Yeah, that is
I
him.
forgot the actor's name, but that is the Shogun of Harlem right
Yeah,
there.
no shit.
Kiss my Converse.
Yeah.
But man, I love the
Wow.
music in that scene. Space Cow.
Yeah, cheesy ass space music they got playing in the background.
Now I looked up the soundtrack because I wanted to get it. They're saying it's actually from a track called "Spaced Out," and I think that's what they're saying.
Really?
Spaced Out. But for years, Leon and I thought that they were saying "Space Cow, Space Cow,
Space cow.
Space
Yeah.
Cow." Pew, 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 pew. Well, man, all I have to say is that's just a little taste right there. of the enjoyment that this man has brought me
The insanity and the entertainment.
all my years. We can't even begin to touch how crazy these movies are with this little bit of a sample that we gave you. We can't show you the karate scenes in these movies.
Oh, my
we can't
God.
show you the freak out
best
scene
karate
right
scenes.
here.
Yeah.
We can't show you some of the nonsense from Petey Wheatstraw that's in there, like a woman giving birth to a watermelon. Man, but all I have to say is, and truthfully, no joking here, the man is a legend. Go out and watch these movies if you want a good laugh. You want to talk about great stuff to show at a party. These two movies that we played tonight are brilliant for that.
Rudy Ray Moore will live on forever.
Ever. Now, here's the deal. Do you think they'll recognize him at the Academy Awards?
No.
It's-
Damn.
You don't think during the obituary section they're not going to show him in the Shogun of Harlem?
No.
They show his face and people like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to clap. Okay, all right.
No blacks allowed.
At least not that way. So, anyway, people, that has been our show tonight.
Yes.
It's been a full one.
Another successful show.
Well, don't use that too loosely. No, it was a good show tonight.
Everything
man.
I do is successful, Corey.
I had a lot of fun,
Especially on this show.
Exactly. No, I had a great time, man. It was
Yes.
a lot of fun. You have fun tonight?
I had a blast, yeah.
All right.
I kind of wish we'd erase the Hitler and the Jets part. I don't know.
Why?
Because I'm a robot. I should know that shit, right?
I mean, you were joking. People know
I
you're
was.
kidding around. I mean, people not gonna actually think
No, I always hate talking about why do you have to bring up the Holocaust on our show, Corey?
Oh, that's what bugged you. After
I
all
know,
the
I
things we
get
talked
very,
about.
it's very horrible, and yeah, I don't like to screw up history.
After talking
when the
about-
kids are listening, because I know the kids pay attention to us.
It's
I
funny.
know they
It's
do.
like you say, man. I wish we hadn't brought up the Holocaust, but
No,
but we talk about Snoopy shooting niggers.
That's funny. Damn.
That's fine. Okay, I see your priorities are.
All right.
All right. Anyway, that's it tonight, y'all.
Hey,
Thank
yeah,
you.
have a fucked up crazy Halloween. Oh, oh, oh.